How I become someone so numb, someone so dumb, someone so stoned, someone so fucking dead. I wish I was all right now. How I become someone so numb, someone so dumb, someone so stuck, someone so fucked in the head. I wish I was all right now. Escape. I guess you probably hate me, but I don't. Just saying, but there's no way to change my fate, right? I don't wanna go outside in the daylight. I thought that you and I were always the same side, but now you're shit into the grapevine. Just cut me open and take me to the canines. How I become someone so numb, someone so dumb, someone so dumb, someone fucked in the head. I wish I was all right now.
Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing this Tuesday evening? Starting off with the mute. We're off to a great
Just
start.
kidding. Wow, what a great way to start. So I was telling everybody before we even started, I am beat tired. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that up front, and the mute is a great example. I feel good tonight. Outside of that, we just got rated by Effie. We already have people running in here. Chump, Wrestle News, like we got Querios and Milk. Welcome. We are just getting started. We have a great evening planned tonight. We have the review of 2 different shows. We've got No Sleep 2024 coming from Houston, and then we have GCW's Crime Wave 2024 coming from Gillies in Dallas, Texas. So I forgot to ask you, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, and I realized, we're off to a great start. You started off with a mute, and I had a cat sneak in my room when I closed the door, and there he is. Let me get him out here real fast, and I'll be right back.
No, you're good. I will go ahead and just start with the news real quick here. I do hope that everyone checked out the last episode that we had here at Game Changer Weekly. That was featuring Brett Lauderdale, Emil, Sam Stackhouse, and we had Fuego del Sol in chat. We are fortunate enough to have Brett give us a 2-hour interview. He was sharing stories behind the scenes on many great moments in GCW history. You can easily find that episode on YouTube.
And I'm still running off the high of that last week's episode. That was surprise, and that was a really, really fun episode. Just even having all the people, different voices that we had here on represent all the GCW fans out there was fun. And then Brett hopping on pretty much right away and taking questions from us and giving a bunch of stories was incredible. Like that was we were both shocked. We didn't even know, like I said, I didn't even know he put it in the chat until after the show was over even. So he was here right away and wanted to hop on. So that was a first for our show, and that was super fun.
Yeah, whoever was fortunate enough to be in that room with us that night had one hell of an experience. Again, you had Brett come in. Emil came in right after. They had one heck of a conversation with all of us. Sam came in about 45 to an hour after that. And then after Brett left, which was about a good solid 2 hours or so interview he gave us, which to me, I think was one of the longest ones I think publicly we've seen from him. But the third part of the show that we had was just a separate Sam Stackhouse interview that just happened to go down after Brett left. And I have to say that was also, like always, an excellent interview. Sam is so much fun to talk to. What did you think, Brett?
I'll take Brett's role. No, it was cool. Yeah, especially after the weekend that Sam had previous in LA and Phoenix, and then the big weekend he had coming up here. That was cool to have him on. Fuego in the chat as always, and with the big weekend he had. I wanted to shout out Wrestle Dads. Thank you for hopping on. Woods Wrestling Corner, I think it was.
Yeah.
The Soul. What we call him here? I forgot what.
Dezo
having on here. Brett, Emil, Stackhouse, Screwball, Frank from AC, Russell Dad, Skittle, Allen, everybody, that was awesome. And I wanted to thank all of you for spending time out of your night hopping on with us. We are going to do that again. We're going to have some other people rotate in. So some of us, we won't be able to have the same crew on since we only allowed 10 people, but we're going to make that a kind of a normal thing here. And we're going to just have rotating people in and out. So unfortunately, if you're unable to hop on the next one, don't take it personal. We will do it again and we'll get you back on here. We loved it all. We want to hear all these other voices. And we did have quite a few people that we could not let in because we had a full room as we did last time. And I'm just excited for the next fan forum that we did, or I forgot what I called it last week, but even just excited to talk to all the voices and hear everything on them. And I think they got a cool experience last week, just like how we did, of having Brett surprising us and hopping on and staying on. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the next fan forum and getting a lot more voices heard on our podcast.
And then Reed is an excellent example. He's awesome, by the way. He said, if you want to risk me next time, let me know. That is a great point. We have so many people that want to get on. If you want to, DM me. It's truly going to be a rotation. I already have probably 20 we're running through. I don't know if Brant talked about it yet, but he had an excellent idea and I feel we're going to incorporate it. It's on to him. But if you're at a local show and you're someone that we feel is a good listener or someone who's decently trusted, don't pee on the furniture, don't chew anything, we would be more than happy to have you come on for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever, makes sense, and tell us about your live experience. We would like to make this show truly about the fans. And we think one of the coolest things about being a fan is the live experience. So we have a gentleman who is going to be at the Toronto show. He's already asked, I'm going to be live. Could I possibly then go ahead and maybe just talk for a couple of minutes about the live experience? Absolutely. So this is another part of us changing Game Changer Weekly to a point to where we can kind of tool it more towards a fan experience, a more interactive experience. So, I wanted to just kind of give that little bit of news out there too, that we have a lot of exciting things coming up. A fan forum strictly at some point will come up. We have GCW shows every single weekend. So we're going to do exactly what we can to try to get in there at some way or another. But even if I'll even do it myself if I have to, or if Brant and I can get together on it, maybe on one separate day, we just sit down for an hour or two and talk and just make it a freaking party, because that sounds good. So we'll get it figured out. But now we're making sure that everybody that we can gets incorporated into the show as much as we can. So this is part of just sharing love with everyone. So thank you. By the way, thank you so much, Kurios. We love you back. All right. So on to that next piece of news. Dark Cheek just had her The Life of released on IWTV. I watched it last night. I recommend everybody just check in and see it. If you're a fan of getting deep into what the wrestlers really think and who they are, that's an excellent series. And if you look through there, you'll find quite a few GCW talents on there, and Cole Radrick and Masha and several others that are really fun to watch.
See, I watch no, it's all good. I watch episode 1 of them all, and then I forget to watch them all again after that. I catch up and watch it. So I do want to check them out though, because it is kind of cool seeing a typical day in the life of a wrestler and what they go through before shows, after shows, in between shows, and stuff like that. It's awesome to see, and they do a good job catching that on IWTV.
So we already have a threat in the group. I'm going to pee all over the fucking furniture. Reed, I knew that was coming, and that's why we love you. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Only real fans piss on furniture. That's just how it goes, be it drunk or not. Anyway.
Sorry, Reed, real fast. He wants to be able to watch it with viewers other than Twitch. We have on YouTube and Twitter. A lot of our views come from those two as well. And all the chat is a lot from Twitter and Twitch as well, and YouTube though. So if you're looking for other places, maybe without ads, that would be YouTube. Some other places to check us out. Yeah, YouTube and Twitter as well.
Yes, please, by all means. If the one that you have doesn't work for you, please switch to another platform where you're comfortable. We have quite a few people that just prefer YouTube because they like to just turn it on in the living room and roll. So Wrestle Dads is on Twitter right now.
Yes, and I got to do one thing since we never do it, and I will be the one to shamelessly do this. If you did enjoy all of last week's show and everything we did, we do have a slam chats .com on the Body Slam where you are able to donate if you are enjoying all of our stuff. We always forget to put this out there because we get in the mood, but since we were kind of talking about it real fast too, slamchats.com, look for the bodyslam.net, and if you do want to leave anything, you're more than welcome to. But obviously on our channel we don't ever really ask for to ever do it much, but we figured if you guys would like to, that is another spot to help support us on another platform.
Cheetos money.
Yes,
it's
and ads are
Cheetos
done.
money. Not gonna. Yeah, WrestleDad here said Twitter rocks, and I'm gonna go back to Nate for a second. Nate was one of the gentlemen that we were going to eventually bring in. I don't know if you were here, Nate, but we are going to rotate people, so that you're one of the ones that we want to make sure we get in, because everybody who came last time was on short notice. They did their best. You did your best, so we're going to make sure that we get you on that next meetup or fan forum. So
yeah, and I think he will be at the Backyard Wrestling Show, and I think next week we might have a long episode to do. We have 3 shows to cover next week, and yeah, that's gonna be a fun one next week.
And if anybody is going to that show, please get a hold of me. I already have 2 that will be going that were on our last show. I believe it's Skittle and Dewey. They said they were going, and I think one other person got a hold of me also. So yeah, I'm going to try to do what I can to coordinate. And if we can, we'll get a couple people on here and there for a couple minutes and share their experiences. It's what makes it special. Reed, we love you. Look at Reed already. Hey, I'm hoping they come out west sometime. Honestly, I'd love a West Coast.
It's gonna be too hot, man. That's the one thing I always like. My wife is always like, "If they're gonna be out West Coast, we'll go if it's driving range." But I'm like, it's too hot out here, man. You can't unless you got to do it in California or something. Like you got to find a nice area to be able to do outside show and out west during the summer, 4th of July, because it's too hot out.
Oh man, here we go. Yeah, Querios and Milk. We got to get them to Scotland. By the way, congratulations. Just broke into the industry, just getting started. That was a long-term goal. Congratulations on that. All right, yes. Let me get into this last little note here for Game Changer Weekly before we move on. So after a week off, GCW was ready to invade Texas for a pair of exciting shows. We'll be covering both of those shows tonight. So Brant, are you ready to start us off?
Yes, we have a lot to cover even tonight with 2 shows. And yes, we will start off with GCW's No Sleep from the Houston Premier Arena in Houston, Texas. And like that video that we showed before, man, that little area kind of reminds me of like the FSW arena out here, especially when Mance was describing it. It's like all this big place, and you got one bathroom for everyone to share. Place got no air conditioning. It was hot as shit. You got to have the door open to get some sort of ventilation in there. But I always enjoy that venue. I like the uniqueness of that small venue. Like a lot of good action has come from that venue. And this is another card that definitely had a lot of good action as well. Back in the old low key arena, I think it was what I was calling it back in the day.
Low key arena. I like that. Yeah, there was a lot of action in ring and in the stands. We're going to cover that more, I think, when we get a chance here. All right. So the show started with a video package. It was very well done. And I was questioning, is this the new GCW intro video? What's your thoughts on that?
I was wondering that too when I saw it the next day and it was like the same video. That's where I kind of hoped if at one point tonight, if we get Fire J Media to hop on Ivan and we'll talk to him about that and see if that is something that's going to be happening moving forward or not. Because I actually kind of liked it. It did feel kind of
loved it.
Authentic. It was like a nice boom for like, especially if someone's never seen GCW, your first intro, boom, you got that. You got all the excitement and action. And then now you got Emil in the ring screaming and getting the crowd hyped up and going to start the show. I like that. I thought it was another small little thing that production slid in there without any big hoopla, and it fits in perfectly. And it's awesome. I think it adds more credibility to the GCW on live viewing experience at home.
Yeah, I had the question, is this the new one? And then when it went to the Dallas show, it was also in the beginning on there. And I go, you know what? I think we got something here.
I like it.
I remember that on Patreon, Brett had sent a couple different wave files.
Yeah.
And he goes, does anybody like these opening? So I was actually expecting one of those to make it. And I'm kind of happy I like this one instead a little bit.
Yeah, I liked all those ones that he sent out on Patreon too for their podcast. I had a nice little beat and rhythm to it.
So this, since you since you love it so much. And I like this place once the temperature got turned. We'll talk more about that. This is GCW's 4th trip to the Houston Premier Arena. Our last time there was February 4th, 2022, when Stackhouse won the Loco Championship from Dante Leon. The arena is a medium-sized warehouse building, very bare bones interior, minus the multiple array of signs on the walls. To me, this feels like I'm watching old GCW from a few years ago. And I don't know. What did you think there? Kind of old school vibes.
I like I said, I have memories from that arena. Like the Sam Stackhouse being Dante Leon was a good one. I think that's where Tony Deppen wrestled one of those guys that just got like released from WWE. I think he's like the rope walker. I think Tony had a good match there. Like we had a lot of good like action there. And I think that's even the venue where Sadiq and Effie went nuts and crazy. And like Effie got super cut up. Is that the arena?
So that's in my notes here. My favorite match in this arena is the main event of GCW Loco Wrestling's Fight Club Houston. This was July 9th, 2020. Yep. Nick Gage fought Sadi. This match. So I don't know if you heard, but there were a couple of wrestlers that were talking about this, and I cannot remember where, but they said that was one of the few times they really thought Nick was really getting it stuck to him pretty good there. Like he was bleeding pretty good. So
I think that was on our podcast. We've had a couple like Emil say stuff about that, and I remember Stackhouse like kind of mentioning that too. Like a lot of like I think that was on our podcast. All those people were saying, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was also noticeably hot in the building. You could see that Emil was in shorts. He didn't even have a hat on. It's warm if Emil doesn't have a hat on. You could see the fans were warm. It was just one of those beautiful independent evenings. Now tonight it's in Houston. It's obvious we're in Zilla country, and the fans let us know. I saw fat heads of Zilla. There were posters and shirts everywhere. People were running around the arena having a great time. Until this time, this is the first time I've really seen how crazy the Houston crowd is for their Zilla.
Yeah, that was nice seeing the Zilla get the hometown treatment there. That like it was, I liked it too as a main event, and it was kind of like a spotlight for him. At such a young age too to get that is pretty crazy, but I think it was well deserved, and the Houston crowd definitely provided the love for him during that main event.
So Wrestle Dads just asked who creates the introduction videos. There are a couple people that create those. Ivan's done them before. The other gentleman off the tip of my tongue. Damn, I cannot think of his name right now, and I'm embarrassed because he's Freddie Faded also does some.
Oh, Freddie Faded, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that do it too. So they do a damn good job, that's for sure. Reed was also he said he doesn't remember Tony Deppen versus
Bandito.
So
it was Bandito. I just looked at it. That's who it was. I got the luchadors mixed up.
Dude, Bandito.
It was like one of Bandito's. Yeah, it was one of his first like GCW shows. I think, if I remember correctly, and it was like I remember it being such a cool match for Tony Deppen to get because that was like around his lucha time. He was trying to get in the world and lucha and stuff like that. So I think it worked out perfectly.
All right. Well, Emil grabs the mic and introduces us to GCW No Sleep in Houston, Texas. I also want to say shout out to the Too Cold Scorpio shirt that Emil had on. That goes ahead and runs us directly into our first match of the night.
What's up, Dezo? Yes. Our first match of the night was Dulce Tormenta going against Jimmy Lloyd. And I like the little opening promo that Jimmy did at the beginning. Like he just now gets heat. Like before, I thought it was just going to be like West Coast heat and then heat being in the Northeast and at the AC area. But man, that heat seeing it in Texas was awesome. They would have let him talk, and he's getting that heat everywhere. And I think I'm just glad he's found a prominent role and is able to show up multiple times throughout these shows instead of being put into a scramble for I'm just glad he's in a prominent role and he's got a good like foundation with the deathmatch royalty, and like he has like somewhere to go with his character, and he's killing it. It's like we've been asking for Jimmy to have something, and he's killing. And in Houston, that promo definitely would not let him talk. That's for sure.
Well, my first note here, I have full broski heel mode is in full bloom, and I almost hope he doesn't go back. The past few months have been his greatest promo work. He shits on Houston and on the arena. Also, he says a bunch of nasty words about Lucha Libre being a bunch of spot monkeys, which did not sit well with the Lucha fans in Houston. I agree with you there that I honestly say this is some of the best work we've seen out of Jimmy. Just overall, he doesn't have to death match to be good.
That's where I was just about to say. Like, for me, the best Jimmy is Deathmatch Jimmy, but now he's showing this character that and like his acting chops that he grew up on, the child actor that he is. Like, I think this is like he's found his comfort zone with the promos, and as you said, other like now we don't need to see him killing himself in deathmatch wrestling, and he's got this prominent role just by talking and doing easy cheap heat on everywhere he goes, and I enjoy it. This is probably the best work that Jimmy's done outside of, I think at the beginning when I started getting into GCW with G Raver. This is definitely the best work I think of his since then.
Dude, I just blanked out for a second here. This is where I was saying, no. I was looking at my notes here because I have a lot on Dulce. So I was like, is there anything else I wanted to say on Jimmy? But honestly, what else is to say that we haven't said already in previous, episodes? All right. So on to Dulce. She's back. We're now wrestling in her territory, hailing from El Paso, Texas. Her first appearance for GCW was April 1st of last year at the World on Lucha. She is 2-1 at GCW, with her only loss coming to Masha Slamovich for the GCW World title. Since that match 2 months ago on May 5th, we haven't seen Masha. We do hope to see her back to defending that title soon. She has been a busy one. When you can, please come home, Masha. Any thoughts on Dulce?
No, I was glad to see her back because, like, I think she did really good work at that when we see her previously. In this match, I just thought it was like, I know I'm harping on Jimmy this whole match, but I think it also just shows how versatile Jimmy was in the ring. Like, could have those death matches, he could have the scrambles, he could have good match with Dulce Tormenta and like Megan Bay. Like, he's good with any role you put him in ring, and I thought this was a good match to showcase that. And Dulce, of course, Jimmy made her look really good during this match, and I think she's really good anyway. So I was just glad to see her in a really serious wrestling match again in GCW.
And I can't remember how many years she has under her belt. And just off the top of my head, I think she was 26. So incredibly young. You can even see it in her face. She's got those bright eyes. She's happy. Yeah, she's exceptional out there. And I like, I don't know, I guess brightness. I don't have a better way to put it. It's just she has a good smile that comes across great with fans. I called it a smile. For a smile face. I don't know what to say it, but it's just there's where I trip again. I did like her pink and black mask. I'll just move on from there. In the match here, I just put that both traded having the upper hand almost evenly. No one was clearly ahead in this match for long. That was something I found really interesting. And it was only a 6.5 minute match here, but Dulce pulled out the win here. Any other thoughts that you have on this one?
I thought it was a solid opener. Got the crowd into it with the heat to hate on Jimmy. Got that, like, that activated the crowd, and I think that, like, they didn't stop all night as we see as the rest of the card. But I think that was good to get the cheers on Dulce, and her being kind of like a crowd favorite out there anyway. It worked out perfect. I thought it was a good opening match. Started off getting the crowd angry, then ended up getting them nice and happy. And yeah, I thought it was a good match for both.
Yeah, a lot of promise in her is what I'm seeing. Solid in ring. She has good gear, catchy music, a good smile for a face character. That's what I wanted to say. And I noticed the fans really loved her, especially in that Houston area there. I would like to see her back again. I think she'd especially go over in Albuquerque, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and LA, where they really love lucha, where that's concentrated. I love lucha, and I was happy with this match. So that's what I have to say there.
Yeah, I think I want to see her against Megan Bain. Like, I think that would be a good match. Stylistically
interesting choice. I won't go too deep into that, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you could put, it seems like now after seeing the more of Megan, you can put Megan in there with anybody. She's gonna have a good match. So
she's killing it against the Los Macizos.
So. Right. All right. Our second match of No Sleep was Joey Janela going against Chris Carter. And yeah, it feels like it's been a while since I've seen Chris Carter. And they said, yeah, I think it was, and you have it in your notes, so I'll let you get to it. But haven't seen him in a while. And really impressed her in this match. He looked really good. And Joey made himself look really good too. But the one thing that stuck out of this match was, normally it's like Joey doing the big high spots or the crazy spots and everything. Like this one, it was all Chris Carter doing. And I think that was kind of cool to see him being able to do the crazy, like jumping off the ladder spots and everything else. So I was glad to see Chris get his shit in against Joey. And definitely impressed for sure.
Didn't expect him, period. I looked at him. I go, okay, local wrestler. We'll see what he can do. And then it's like flip, fly, flip, fly. I'm like, shit, this guy has way more in, like, I just didn't see it. But you know what? Looks are always deceiving, especially in in one of these sports like this. It's just like, okay. I also want to say thanks to Reed. He is correcting me here. Dulce is coming into her 10th year in ring. So mad respect for that. Back here to this Janela Chris Carter match. Chris Carter is a Houston native. The 6-year veterans GCW debut was on the first GCW local fight club back on July 9, 2021. This is surprisingly his 7th match at GCW. Janela came out strong. We all know the bad boy, so I'll kind of move through that. Looking at Carter initially, you wouldn't guess the amount of agility he has. His springboard Dragon Rana is one shining example. There was a huge spot where a door bridge was built. Joey placed on top, and Carter dives from the highest platform in the arena through the bridge. Carter with the shooting star press. His fans chant, Carter, Carter. I didn't expect this at all. Our winner was Joey. He wins with a nasty package pile driver 4-3. To me, I just want to mention here before I go, this is my last note. This isn't the first time Carter's exceeded my expectations, and I didn't realize it until I looked back at my older notes and went, oh, holy shit, he's been showing up every single time.
Yeah, it's funny you wrote. I didn't expect that. That was my last note. This was way more than I expected from this match. Bravo from Chris Carter and Joey. Like I didn't not expect it, and great match. And then I found out like a little theme that kind of seemed to happen. The next night too, with Joey, Mance, and Blake, they kind of all wrestled kind of like not local area talents, but kind of like not GCW regulars, which I thought was kind of cool. Like keep them active, but kind of keep them like easy wins to kind of keep the momentum going to homecoming. So that was one little tidbit I found later on throughout this. But yeah, Chris Carter, awesome job. I was left speechless and way more impressed than I originally was thinking going into this match.
The fan speaking right here. He says he'd like to see more of Chris Carter. Very good stuff here. Wrestle Dad's ass, are either of you two a fan of the zombie gimmick? Carter pulled this after the DVD on the floor spot. You know what?
I must have missed that.
I must have seen it and forgotten it. I'll be dead honest with you. I watched the whole damn show. So I'm going to go back and check that out. That's new to me. All right. Yeah, we'll check that out. All right. So yeah, Joey wins. All right. So yeah, I'm finished up with that one. We good to go on to the next one, bud?
All right. Next matchup was this was a hard-hitting matchup here. One called Manders versus Brick Savage. I was happy to see Brick Savage specifically get this match because after I think the last time we saw Brick, I think we both said this is the match he needs to have. Just have a Haas fight. Manders just on the roll that he is. I think this was gonna be a good matchup. And yeah, this was everything I expected it from. I would actually wanted to hear what you thought on this one because it's kind of more your stylistic kind of matchup with the two Haases. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. And like I said, this was the perfect matchup for both of them in this whole card.
Yep, huge fan of these Haases. There were just two bulls colliding. Everything in the ring had impact. Brick Savage, I'm going to tell you, he gives me KTB vibes, but just with a little more height. He just has that, brick. He's just a thick, brick, rounded guy, kind of like Taz, but again, with more height on him, just rounded. All right, so we'll go ahead and give a little rundown on Brick Savage here. He's from Austin, Texas. This is his GCW debut. He's billed at 6'2" and 347 pounds. That is a monster. He also has a highly athletic background, namely wrestling, football, and powerlifting. He was a HOT network champion for 345 days and an HOT anarchy champion for 239 days. So he's no joke. And I can tell you, you look at him in the ring there and you look at him against Manders and I'm like, gosh, these are just two big, strong boys going at it. And when he checked Manders into the crowd, that was another one where I'm like, okay, that was cool.
I screamed pounce. That was like a pounce moment for me. I was like, pounce.
Oh, man. Manders had some good fans down in Houston too. I just wanted to know that I think that's one place and another, but I think Manders is picking up steam in quite a few places. So I hope to keep seeing that. Credit that to booking, by the way. With this SGC split, I really do feel Manders could have really been lost in the shuffle. And with tag team breakups, that happens quite a bit. And I really believe in Manders. I believe in both of them, but Manders is a really, well, both are really nice guys, actually. So I just want to see him succeed, and I'm happy he's doing that.
I want to see him kind of in the mix with that Extreme title. I think he could have those kind of fun Extreme kind of matchups with all these different kind of like the different stylistic wrestlers that he can have matches with. I think he would be a good fit for that Extreme title to kind of help build it back up. And I think it would be perfect for him right now. As you said, I think they are doing a good job too of not just letting him fall off to the side. He's still being in prominent roles and matchups here, which is really good. But I think like just a little bit more for me was get him in that Extreme title when that comes back. And I think that would be a good spot for him to kind of find his role in GCW at the moment.
The other thing I wanted to mention in this match was that like Manders rarely meets his match, and he had kind of an equal here. I also wanted to mention a little spot. KTB hit this shoulder tackle on that charging Manders spot.
Hey, you wrote KTB hit it.
I was just sitting here and I blocked out for a second and I went, oh my God, I just said KTB. I'm sorry, but that's the vibe he gives me. Yep. And maybe I miss him a little. So, you know, but our winner here was one called Manders. He pulls out the win with 2 very solid lariats. Both shake hands at the end of this match. Brick is still way over in his home territory, and it didn't do a damn thing to damage Manders at all.
Yes, and I want to see Brick back in a GCW ring immediately.
Oh yeah,
I think him versus Barrow would be a fun match too.
Get the old Haas versus Haas thing going on. I'm in for a Haas scramble. I want a Haas scramble one day. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while since we've seen some big boys in the scramble there. All right, our 4th matchup. Oh yes,
yeah,
that's cool. Sure. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
No, I had no idea. Thank you so much, Reed. Yes. And yeah, I love all the game monsters. We seem to have a lot of them somehow, but they do their damn job.
All right, our 4th matchup was the East Coast Ace, Jordan Oliver going against Fuego del Sol. I'm just glad Fuego seemed to have found a home in GCW. That was like one of the first notes I wrote. It seems like now he's traveling with them and going some other places outside of just like the out west when he was kind of doing it. So I would love to see him travel with them. I think he has a good spot, and he's definitely showcasing his talent way more, given way more opportunity to do so than he did in AEW. So I'm glad that he's kind of GCW's giving him the platform to excel, because he's been fun to watch. And this match against Jordan was an awesome one-on-one matchup. And I think this kind of pulled out a different side of Fuego and dragged him a little, not to the deep end, but with Jordan being as on top of his game as he is right now, this was a fun matchup and good. I just really enjoyed Fuego's work during this matchup.
So yeah, Fuego was way over, and I could tell that because the crowd was oddly flat for Jordan. He was getting boos, which is awkward. And I almost want to see if he goes heel. We'll talk to that at the end of this match.
Yes, will, definitely.
Fuego came out to a huge pop. He's fighting out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, but he is wildly popular in Houston. For me, I felt the match was decent. The heat in the building I felt was affecting the wrestlers. And you match that with Jordan Oliver's knee issue. I think it's a knee issue. I'm not 100% sure, but I felt like that he was at 85 or 90% where he'd normally be at 100. I have that Fuego put in a lot of work, especially every time I'm looking at the television, Fuego was flying somewhere. Anyone in that building could have fought Fuego. I don't care who it was, and they would have been the bad guy. I think that's the best way to put it. There is another point in this show I'll talk about later. I have a feeling we had more of a TV crowd than we had an independent crowd a little bit. And my the key indicator there was that when we were pulling out doors, people started chanting, "We want tables." You know that crowd. So chances are there may be, and nothing bad, actually, that's fantastic, new fans on the independent scene. So if there are, so welcome. And we do doors.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too with the crowd there with Jordan. Like I immediately jumped to that too, because like I could kind of see the frustration with Jordan throughout the match. He's like, "What the hell?" Like he hasn't been booed in a long time, and now you can see it. Like that was like kind of the first time I think. Well, when he was on his little title run with Nick, you saw the little frustration and little hints of a heel work at the end of matches, kind of like as we saw in this one. But I was thinking that too. I'm like, man, like Jordan, don't take it personal, man. Like they're just rooting for Fuego. That's their boy. Like Dulce, they're gonna root for Dulce. They're gonna root for Zilla. Like it didn't matter who you put in there against Fuego. I think the house was going to be for Fuego. But I loved seeing the little hints and teases there. It kind of does make me wonder if there is something going to be leading down the road, though.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this. Is do you think it's time for Jordan to go heel? So you're ready to roll, huh?
Let's go. Let's go the winning, and then let's get into this. I think we have a lot to talk about here.
So yeah, Jordan did pull off the win. He had a quick roll up to very heavy boos. I did see one guy clapping as Jordan was going up the ring. He's flipping off a fan on the ramp. That had me laughing. So yeah, Jordan walks up, he's gone behind the curtain, and then we see this rush of body from somewhere. Happens to be Charles Mason. He runs from behind and lays out Fuego with a chair, and he starts ripping at Fuego's mask. Fans were pissed off. That is the ultimate no-no. Oliver then runs back down to the ring. He comes in for the save. He makes the save. Everybody cheers, of course. Now Oliver's the good guy because he stepped in. Just, you know what I mean? That's how it worked. On the other end of things here, I do see Fuego becoming an important part of GCW if he's booked properly. Fantastic on the mic is something that's really hard to find on the independent scene, and all you have to do is go to his Twitch and you can hear he's one hell of a good talker.
Yeah, I wonder what this was setting up. Was this more for Charles versus Fuego or Charles versus Jordan? Because that's kind of where I'm like leading right now. Is I Jordan coming back out and getting the save, which I think was good. Like, so that way they didn't boo him and he got the cheers again. But I also think him getting on the mic real fast and kind of like saying like, hey, like, fuck Mason, I challenge you in Toronto, blah, blah, blah. But then adding in like, hey, I respect Fuego. I think that was another way to get the fans to come back to him. I think that was really smart on him, like to kind of get the fans back into him so they didn't boo him. Like for promo wise, because that's something like how Blake kind of, you know, when they were first booing Blake, he kind of was like, no, guys, wait, let me get popular here. Let me win you guys over. They didn't give him the opportunity. I think this was a good way of Jordan stopping that right away. And hopefully that doesn't lead into future shows, as we saw with Blake Christian getting booed right after that AC incident in future shows. So I just think that was good maturity in the promo realm for Jordan in that little bit of time. I thought that was a cool thing. But I'm thinking, like, where is this? Like, if this is leading to Charles versus Fuego, that's cool. And Fuego and Charles versus Oliver as a feud would be cool. So I was wondering, where do you think that was leading into? Because I know it ended up leading towards Jordan being the one to challenge Mason, but not Fuego.
Okay, so that's a really interesting question because both right now are faces. So whoever Mason chooses is going to naturally fill that spot as the good guy. I don't honestly know here. Realistically, I'm worried about Jordan's leg because it has really affected his work the last couple weeks. And that
think he's selling it. I think it's good selling from 2 weeks ago, that big injury to like, because that's something I missed. That's one thing I wanted to shout out. Like if he's legit hurt, then he's doing a good job going through it. But if he's selling it, like that's something I can really appreciate because that's something I really want to see a little bit more of. Continue. Oh my God, I always fuck up this word. Continuity or whatever. Every time
I got you. I know what you're saying.
Continuity. There we
continuity.
Go. I always go the wrong way. I think it adds continuity to what happened the week before. Because sometimes, like, okay, we had like someone went through a crazy, like I don't want to say this, like Effie went through this crazy shit for months, and COS was a culmination, and then the next week it's boom back to being FB like nothing just happened. And I feel that kind of hurts for me as a deep wrestling fan, like the continuity between shows where like this one I could see like, oh fuck, Jordan's knees messed up because that match with Mance, like I could go back and relate to it. So I really hope it's just good selling to add continuity to stories, but I don't know. I think whatever, it's going to be good for Fuego to get him a good first feud, and being one of the most hated wrestlers in GCW to get the crowds behind you would be good for Fuego right now in GCW. But also Jordan versus Mason seems like the feud that I've kind of been asking for. Build these young guys up, heels or faces, to challenge to the next line. And if it's Jordan versus Charles on a non-title feud, I'm really hoping that's what it is, because I think it would be good for both and good showcasing of young talent. That's probably our best young heel, and best young face right now. And I think that would be a good way to start building up kind of what I've been asking for in GCW.
And you made a good point there. It's good for both. That would be a series even where if those two had to work together, they would both learn and gain from it. And I think that would be absolutely exciting. I'll go back just for a second when you were talking about the crowd reactions. You're very much right that crowd reactions can sometimes bleed into other shows, or snowball into other shows, and then holy shit, face is now a heel 3 shows later. It just took that long for the wind to pick up. So
yep.
I don't know. When you see a show like this where there's heavy boos, that can sometimes bleed into the next one, and it had nothing to do with anything more than we had a bunch of Fuego fans there. So that's just,
and it's Mason too. Oh yeah, sorry. Before Mason came in, yeah, you're right.
DJ Luda just said, "What's up, guys? How you doing? We're doing fantastic.
What's up?
It is so good to have you in here. It's nice. DJ always kicks in on things, so."
I think that conversation though that we did, like, just showcases how valuable Charles Mason is to GC, like just in general as a character in wrestling. I think he can do, he does his character in other promotions just as well. But I think right now, I think to get back into GCW, get him into a new feud, go into the new face in Fuego, or the biggest young talent in Jordan. I think that's good. I think Mason is really good with that stuff, and he's going to make either one of them look really good at the end of this feud, because he's really that good at work. And I'm glad, hopefully this does lead into something that stays consistent, and he doesn't just kind of go away again, as he seemed to do until his return.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens there. I was interested in that whole write-off where everything was kind of just oddly connected, but very loosely, is I think the best way to put it. And then he went away, and that's where we were thinking, what's going to be the next evolution of Charles Mason? So right now it looks like we have primarily the same thing, but again, he's back to stalking prey. So,
and he was by himself too, unfortunately. That kind of sucks though. Like, that's one person I'm missing is Perro. Like, Perro and Richard, where they at?
I don't know. You know what? I'm really surprised he didn't grab Brick for a night. You know what I mean? That can happen. Yeah. And if it wasn't Brick, I mean, somebody like Galeno, could you imagine him being the enforcer for the GM, Matt Cardona?
Oh, yeah.
Now we have a problem. So
yes.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to see what does happen with Mason. I just don't know. Like, I was just left confused. Is it supposed to be for Jordan, or is it supposed to be for Fuego? So we'll see. All right, our next matchup is a scramble match, as the competitors were Sam Stackhouse, Bobby Flacco, Calibus, Epidemius Jr., Mago, and Shota. I was happy to see Shota back in GCW. It's been a while since we've seen him. And Mago, same as well, seeing Mago back in the GCW ring. This was a fun local scramble match. I'm kind of glad that we got to see the talent that we did.
Yeah, Shota was an interesting little shove in there at the end. Unfortunately, in this match, I'm not going to lie, he kind of was invisible. I just don't feel like there was a stage for him for 15 seconds, but maybe I just wasn't looking for it at the time. I noticed in this match, we've got a lot of medium-sized guys and one big man. So they attempted to obviously gang up on Sam, but he ended up clearing house. There was a Sam Stackhouse tope early in the match, and it garnered holy shit chance. And I'm right there on Epidemius, I think it said, Junior. I wrote down just flat out, he is impressive. He's another one that, just like Mago and whatnot, they can come back at any time. I just want to say this was an 8-minute match, extremely quick. There were so many members in it. There was not much notes I could get because it was just spot. I just want to mention at the end here, though, Stackhouse is picking up steam in GCW, and I couldn't be happier for the young man.
Same. I'm happy that he's getting all the shine he's getting in GCW too, and showing up and killing in the crowd. Just everywhere he goes is just all over him. So yeah, I'm happy to see Stackhouse in a more predominant role in GCW as well.
DJ Luda, here we go. Mason and Perro versus Fuego and Oliver could be a possibility. Absolutely. I'm in.
Yes.
And that here, if we want to do a 3-man, I like that one a lot. All right. Here we go. All right. This is what
Young,
chat's
Dumb,
all
and Broke
about.
House. Young, Dumb, and
I
Broke
like
Hot House or something like that.
You know, I like that they're playing around with those names. You know, everything doesn't have to be so serious. So
yeah, I love all those weird names. The best one was the old one they did with Mike Jackson, Nick Gage, and the East West
young,
Express.
dumb,
Old senile,
middle aged.
that was the greatest one.
All
right. Our next quote unquote match was supposed to be for the GCW world title, as it was the champion Mance Warner was supposed to defend it against Dante Leon, but Mance does actually a kind of a cool thing I want to talk about afterwards when we're done with this. But Mance does a cool little power move here and puts his foot down as the champion. So I'll let you go into that since I know it's in your notes here.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is a crazy one here. So Mance started working the crowd hard when he came out. I really do feel that at some point he's going to cause a riot one night. You know what that is? That's fucking old school heat. 90s style, 80s style, 70s style, hostile fans right up in a hostile, you know, heel's face, just like the heels used to do in the old days. This is real wrestling, back to fundamentals. I love every bit about this. You can even hear, like, it makes me excited. I like the real emotion. It's real to me when he comes out and I know him and I'm still like, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. Please don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? I have that feeling.
Yeah. I take my hat off like I do Tony Deppen. My phone's in my pocket. I'm just like, hey, man, what's up?
Dude, I want to even flip him off. I'm like, I love you, but I'm not even fucking with you because I know he will. When you start seeing people get pushed around and you start seeing people get fucked with, yeah, this was a situation here where we had a guy out in the crowd. He's like, you know what, this is about me. And yeah, Mance went out there and was trying to, well, he was handling business. It was pretty impressive. And
I loved he didn't give up on the first one. Like, he went for his first mark out there to like, stand up. I'm gonna fucking get you, get in my face. Like, the guy was like, nah, I ain't moving. Like, fucking, like, I love how he didn't just give up and go in the ring. Like, he's like, all right, who else am I gonna get to just be able to stand up and fuck with? I'm gonna find somebody to make a scene here. And I'm glad he does that and sticks with it and doesn't just give up. But obviously, like, he felt like the one person that won't stand up and get in his face, but everyone else absolutely will.
Oh, I love it. I love it all. So Mance eventually gets to the ring and grabs a mic. That doesn't last long. He ends up still getting into a wrestler's, or gets into a fan shit. He actually has a fan escorted out at one point and thanks his toothless security for escorting him out. Fuck Dallas chants start coming up because Mance had name checked Dallas for a minute there. Said he hasn't wrestled in this building since IWA, and he was the best thing about IWA. He complains about the building and how it's, well, he feels it's a shithole. He says he doesn't have to wrestle and he's just gonna leave, which is a total bullshit move. Dante's music hits. He comes out and says, this place is special. It's the heart of Houston wrestling, and this is his home. He gets up in Mance's face. He says, you need to stop being a pussy. Give me my match. They start fighting. Lloyd comes out, starts attacking Dante. Manders eventually came out for the save. We had a Hawk to a chant to send Mance packing. So it's sad we didn't have a match, but we still had our drama. And I think that's what was the point here.
See, the booker in me loves everything about this, but like the fan in me would be pissed if I went down there to see a championship match that was announced and then still for some reason, like, that's why I don't know. It was like, I don't think he was hurt because, or I don't think Dante was hurt because he wrestled the next night just fine. So yeah, like, if there was like a reason for this, then I guess I'm cool with it as a fan. But like, as a fan, I was just like, why did you announce it? I was actually like, you know, the booker and me, Dante did nothing to deserve this matchup. Why the fuck is he getting a title match? So I'm really glad Mance put an end to that shit. It's like, no, we ain't doing this shit no more where people just get title matches. You're going to have to earn it. So I fucking love that stuff from Mance. But like, as the fan, I was just like, oh man, like if I went there to go see this matchup and this is what happened, I'd be absolutely pissed. But overall, I actually do enjoy it. Just because of that reason, I always have been hating these random people getting title matches for no reason. So I actually left smiling and saying thank you, Mance, for putting some integrity on the GCW World Championship belt. I appreciated it, and it was a cool little thing to set up the next night.
So I did an interesting little poll with the fans earlier today. I wanted to question them, in your mind, who is the real GCW world champion? Thought it was a great question. I put both names out there that have the belt right now. That's Mance Warner and Blake Christian. There were 109 votes. 61.5% of you chose Mance Warner as the one who is the rightful GCW world champion right now, where 38.5 had chosen Blake Christian. Okay, Brand, I'm going to ask you, who do you think right now is the rightful champion?
I voted on that poll. I have to say, Blake Christian.
Me too. Me too.
Like, you can't sit there and all my time, my short time, but on all my history of GCW, you can't sit there and say, I will never strip a title away from a person and move on with it. Like, you always have that person. Like, the Extreme Championship was gone for years. All of a sudden, oh, we come back, put it in a title match, and now we got, boom, a new champion. I think it's Blake because he never lost it, as he said. He wasn't even gone for that long, too. So whatever on that bullshit, too. Like, if you were going to do this and he was gone for like months, okay, I'd be a little bit more on. I'd be saying, hey, Mance is my fighting champion. At least he's out here causing chaos everywhere, but he's defending it like how Blake did, and Blake wasn't here for that long. I love the next night's promo, and I would save all of this shit I'm going to say, but I love the next night's promo for Blake. Put it kind of wrapping all those in a bow and making it make sense for fans. I really absolutely love that. But yes, my heart says Blake Christian is my GCW world champion.
Now, it hasn't been said this way, or the booking hasn't been directed this way, but I have a feeling this go more towards Cardona made a belt. He used his power to strip it, quote unquote, or he didn't strip the damn thing at all. And he just said, well, since the cat's away, the mice are going to play. I've got a belt. This is the new champion, and off we go. But if that's the real champion that's around Mance's waist, well, then what's the one that Blake has? So something tells me here there's a lot of childish fuckery that only a GM like Cardona could do that makes it interesting. So in my mind, our champion has not been pinned or lost whatsoever. And if you strip him over one, I mean, you're going to be stripping the UV title. You're going to be stripping the Extreme title. So, I mean, it makes for a great story, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds.
And even if Cardona even said that, like, all my inactive champions, you're gone, I'm getting new champions in, that would have made sense too. And I probably, if he would have said that, I probably would be saying Mance is my champion. But all that fuckery that you said that is going to happen is all the things I said once Blake returned, I wanted to see happen for the next couple of weeks until Homecoming. I just really wish they didn't announce that match. I really wish they would have saved it till it got a lot closer. And we would have just been seeing all this fuckery, and it would have left questions for us, for fans like me. I would have been like, oh wait, why? Like, end each show on a cliffhanger, and wait, what's next? What's going to happen? And now I got to watch the next show, and hopefully they explain it. Nope, it's just more fuckery. Hopefully they explain it. Like, I wanted to see just fuckery happen until Homecoming, and then as it got closer to Homecoming, announce this match, make it make sense, wrap it all up. But I think they announced it way too early right now, where now anything that's being said, it's just being said just to hype up that match, where I wish they would have just played into fuckery. So that's my one little thing, and I did say that a couple weeks ago and last week probably. I've said it multiple times, but that's the one little thing I really wish they would have just kept that fuckery in our minds and would have messed with us for the next couple shows leading to Homecoming. But it's been fun though, at least. But I wish it could have been a lot more fun, I think.
Well, in my head, I'm just going with what I told you earlier with the Cardona situation, and then I'm thinking it would be fun to have the entire Cardona crew in the ring when Brett breaks the news that this cannot continue this way. I want to see Mance break down in the ring and cry, like just implode mentally. And then I want to see him just grab the title close to his chest and run the fuck out of the ring. You're not taking this. If you're going to take this, first of all, I earned this. If you're going to take it, you have to beat me for it. And then he just holds the title hostage, which I think would be another fun little way to extend this storyline.
Reed, if this match is not the main event for one of these homecoming nights, I will absolutely come on here and lose my shit. That you have like probably one of the biggest world title matches and it's not going to be a main event on homecoming. It'll be an absolute shame. I think they're going to like, they can still do a bunch of shit, but I don't know. Like for me, like, and I also jump to conclusions and I come back and I eat shit too. So I'm just enjoying it. But in my mind, it just like, I just wish they kind of jumped the shark there to announce it when I think they could have waited and fucked with everybody's minds. But as Reed says, I got a couple more shows to get my mind fucked with before homecoming. So we will see. And they kind of did like, I really like the ending and we'll get there too. Like how Crime Wave ended. I really enjoyed kind of all that mess that happened there. But that's why I didn't want anything announced. So I could be like seeing all these messes happen and leave with questions in my head other than now I know it's going to be decided.
And yeah, DJ just mentioned there for a minute about the situation with Cole. For me, I think he's going to hold that off until we get to the tag team, but we'll see what happens there. I just feel like that brass ring fits better with Cole in the tag team division. And
just
also,
with everything going on,
Los Macizos alone are a good reason to watch that tag team division start to heat up now.
Yeah, so glad they're back, man. Whew.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Cash in during a ladder match.
Yeah,
it can all happen.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I didn't expect to see 2 GCW World Championship belts, so anything's possible, and it's keeping us all on our toes. Yeah, what I also like is it's pulling the creativity out of the fan base. It really is. I've heard so many interesting things about where this may go. So
yeah, I love seeing like all these different thoughts instead of everybody shitting on the same thought that everybody has. It's good to see all these different ideas. All right, going back to Los Macizos that we were just talking about. Our next match was a tag team match as Los Macizos went against Los Desperados, Arez and Gringo Loco. And for me, this was actually my favorite match of the whole weekend. Probably one of the matchups I was looking forward to the most all weekend, being a giant fan of Arez and Macizo. So I was looking forward to it. And I left a happy man. This match was awesome. It was so fun seeing the innovation from Arez, but it was also fun seeing Los Macizos have fun being in their GCW ring again and seeing all the craziness that they always like to do in their matches. And I enjoyed every bit of this match. Like I said, for me, it was the matchup of the weekend.
I like how you said I left a happy man.
Very happy.
So my first note here was this match had 2 teams I'd rather see as my GCW tag team champions right now. Nothing against anyone else. I'm just saying Desperados would have a nice run, and I think Los Macizos had it before, but they could do another one. No questions asked. One of the most exciting matches of the night was what I have in my notes here, bodies everywhere. Surprisingly enough, given that there was so much lucha going on here and influence, the tag rules were followed for about 1 minute, and then it became an all-out brawl. So they were very behaved compared to usual. Doors were coming out from under the ring. We get a "We Want Chables" chant. That's where that had come from. I'm assuming there's all those new fans. Chairs also come out. Miedo was powerbombed through the chairs. Ciclope had a destroyer on Arez through a door. Gringo grabs Miedo and hits a Spanish fly through a door. Arez follows with a double foot stomp from the top rope for 3. Our winners in this one, Los Desperados. In my mind, this would have been my GCW Tag Team Championship match of the night.
Yeah, for me too. That definitely would have been. That's the homer in me. And I like Macizos. They've been tag champs for that many times. I will take them being tag champs for the 1,883,288th time. I will take it anytime I can get Los Macizos. I am a fan of them, and they defended the titles just in a different promotion when they were the tag belts. I actually remember seeing a couple different matchups where that was kind of cool seeing that. Yeah, for me, this was an awesome match, and as you said, the action this is where like the action really kicked up all night. Got to see a little bit of fuck, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, I left a happy man.
I left a happy man. I love that. I was going to say something and I completely forgot what I was going to say on this one. Oh, I know what it was now. A lot of new listeners. There's almost 300 of us in here right now. A lot of new listeners don't know, but I was not a Los Macizos fan when they first had come back to GCW. I had no idea why they were so good. I didn't understand why Brant was so happy about it. And it took about 3-4 matches, and I went, these guys are fucking tough, and they're good, and then I find out they're standalone wrestlers also, and they're just as good. Then they also do standalone even in death matches, and then I had to go back and watch NGI to watch them go at it. So yeah, we're Los Macizos fans pretty hard around here, but solid work is solid work, and I like to put a pedestal on people like that. I've watched that dude pop. I've watched Miedo put his arm back in or his shoulder back in so many times. It's like that dude has ran his car with no wheels on it before. So good for them.
If I had the booking power, I had Miedo chasing for the world, and I'd have Ciclope chasing for the Ultraviolet. That'd be my way to treat the Los
Really.
Macizos. At this point, they did the tag thing now. I mean, think back. What is the best singles match you've seen Miedo in?
That's a great question. It's gonna be a death match.
For me, it's Speedball, man. He had a 20-minute match of Speedball in Vegas, that little Vegas show in this little low-key arena here, the FSW arena.
Damn.
For me, like that just showcased me. Miedo could have a good match with Speedball could have a good match against freaking Yokishu for like we've seen, but Miedo, like that was his coming out moment for me as a singles opponent, where he could wrestle as a singles matchup and carry that division, and especially be in the world title. You want to get Ultraviolet, he could get Ultraviolet. You want to keep it clean, like how Blake's been keeping it clean, he could have a good match there. So that's where I would book him now that they have been tag champs for the 1 millionth time. If they're not going to do tag stuff, that's how I would book Los Macizos.
Wrestle Dad said the obvious. Yeah. Speedball can have a good match versus anyone. Yeah, Speedball was the one that I think if we were to have a face champion, I really like him as a face champion. I felt like he's family friendly. He has a decent, clean image to him. He's always out there in the public. He's got a good smile. And you mentioned it there. It doesn't matter who it is, big or small. Speedball puts on one hell of a show, and he is one hell of a David to a Goliath. So that's my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see Speedball start chasing after the GCW World Championship as well.
There's one, DJ Luda. Yep, just right there with you, Brent.
Yeah, that was the night I was like, come on, this has got to be the night. Put it on Miedo. Put it on Miedo. I was happy one of them won, because I've been dying for one of those to win in the tournament for a long since we started the podcast. I think every tournament comes on. I want Miedo Ciclope to win. I want Miedo Ciclope. And when he actually was able to win that one, I lost my shit. So that was a good moment. Good fun times.
I love them because they're close brothers. I wish I was as close to my brother as he is with his, man. They're good family.
Yeah, they're fun. I just enjoy, like, if you go back, if you want to see one Miedo match, as you said, Miedo versus Ciclope, and I think like a TOS or NGI final, whatever it was insane. And you just saw them after that match, all bloodied. Come here, brother. They're all hugging each other. Like, they just love being in a GCW ring. And like, you could see it every time they're in a ring, just the smile on their faces and how much they enjoy being there. So that's why I think for me, they are like, when we didn't have them for the last couple months, and we got some DMs, or not DMs, but some messages on Twitter from Miedo and Ciclope about, oh yeah, they got these dates open. I was very concerned that they weren't working with GCW no more. And then when I saw them get announced for LA a couple weeks ago, I was ecstatic, and that was a big sigh of relief for me. Okay, they're good with GCW.
Same, dude. Same. When it showed we're open on these dates and it was all the dates, I went, oh no, because I know that GCW books out quite a few months, and I'm seeing 2 months out, they're empty. I'm going, oh no.
I was the same way.
So that's when I got a little nervous, and I'm like, oh no, we need Los Macizos back in GCW. And then other people started retweeting it and saying it. And then that's when Brett jumped in and kind of said, hey, we have some visa issues, but they will be back. And then a couple weeks later, here they are again. So thank you, Brett, for bringing them back to the States. We love it.
Yes. World title shot. I agree. I'm glad he got one, at least with Masha. And that match was insane too. All right. Our 8th matchup of GCW's No Sleep was Micro Man going against Dark Sheik. And yeah, this was one I was just like, okay, let's just see what happens here and enjoy this. This is going to be a fun, entertaining match just for the fans. And Sheik definitely stepped down during this match, I guess maybe I want to say. I just loved how her modified all her moves to get down to Micro Man's level. Was that for me was the highlight of this match, and she did a really good job with Micro Man, and Micro Man just continues to have fun matches in GCW.
Yeah, a Microman match comes down to the creativity of the opponent. And here we are again where Dark Sheik just gave her personality out as much as she could. She's like, I don't know if I want to wrestle a baby. And I thought that was kind of funny. Sheik believed that Microman was a baby, all the way down to questioning the parents about the tattoos. While watching this match, I saw Microman all in black, and I'm like, what would a heel Microman look like? That would be, you would have to really book it intelligently for him to get booed.
Yeah.
Dude's got angel wings on. There's no way he's getting booed, but there's ways.
I don't know. I'll keep my my opinions there.
I also like the visual when Microman is just standing there and the camera's locked on him, because it looks like a little man with a big heart. And I'm really big on visuals. So all right, so we'll go back in here. I was kind of squirreling for a second. Yeah, fan favorite Microman got a huge pop. Sheik came out. We got the patented Sheik entrance. Sheik grabs a mic, doesn't want to wrestle a baby. While watching the match, that's why we were saying about the heel. I'll take my note out on that. When Sheik was openly fighting with fans about having to fight Micro, this ended up garnering CPS chants from the crowd. We have Child Protective Services being called. Prazak had to remind us Micro is an adult. Fans are still up Sheik's ass about this with shame on you chants. Micro then goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle. We have a Micro Cena chant that comes up. Sheik hits the coast to coast for 2. Our winner in this run, Microman, with a big splash off the top turnbuckle for 3, or the middle turnbuckle for 3. Sheik, again, like I said, it comes down to the creativity of the performer, and I think Sheik really did a fantastic job putting her unique stamp on that match.
Yep, I agree. I think for me she was the star of the match because of everything that she did with Microman and help him look look good. I'm glad that she embraced the heel role too. That was kind of I was wondering what was going to happen there, and because we don't really see heel Sheik too much, so I was kind of glad to see a little heel Sheik with Microman. All right, our main event of GCW's No Sleep is a Houston street fight, as the hometown boy Zilla Fatu goes against John Wayne Murdoch. And for being whatever match in his young career, for Zilla Fatu being in the main event of his hometown, I think was awesome. And getting as violent and as crazy as he did during this matchup elevated him, and again, in my eyes, to another level, and just shows that he's going to go balls to the wall whenever it's his turn to get the ball. And he was crazy, and I love seeing the craziness in it. And perfect opponent in John Wayne Murdoch, especially when he working as a heel. Shouldn't have been that. It wasn't probably that hard to get the heel heat in Zilla's hometown, but John Wayne did a good job of getting all that heat on him as well.
Yeah, this Zilla and Murdoch feud is becoming a thing, and I like it. I also feel that Zilla's in great hands from a deathmatch perspective because, you know, Murdoch's a pretty safe deathmatch worker. And also, John has had more years in wrestling than Zilla has had matches. So also a good thing to think about there. Yeah, Murdoch was stirring shit on the way to the ring. I felt that this place was rowdy. Some fan dressed like a red candy apple decide he's going to stand ringside and provoke John while he's walking around the ring. I am huge on fans getting knocked on their ass for trying to become part of the show. This guy deserved it. I do believe he's a fan of Zilla or somewhere involved, only because he gets in the ring and gets involved. He takes one of those weak clotheslines. Like, you know, the guy does the clothesline and, you know, like the green guy kind of falls awkwardly. That happened here. There was some lady running around the outside of the ring with a Zilla head. So I'm starting to wonder who was running the show, the wrestlers or the fans at this point, because it seems like the fans are getting more airtime. Zilla is the youthful face this company's been missing in my mind. And I do feel that fans are really behind him. Let's try to get him in the title chase, not give him the title, just in the chase, because again, the faces make more money when they're chasing than they are with the title. And of course, this kid is young, but I feel like places that are independent things like GCW really do thrive when we have younger talent that are just likable. And we have somebody like that in Zilla right now. Let's see if there was anything else in my notes here. That Zilla head first dive through the glass onto the floor where he gets fucked up. That was absolutely something else. Then fans started chanting, "We want fire." I don't remember the last time I've heard that. It's been a little while since we've heard that chant, I think.
I don't think I remember ever hearing
Yeah.
fire.
That's fucking hardcore. It was hot in
Right.
that building though. They could have been angry.
So
Our winner in
outside.
this one. Shit. Yeah, they could have just taken a magnifying glass. And our winner was Zilla Fatu. He delivers a spike for 3. My vote right here for GCW Rookie of the Year. So
yeah.
Don't know, but 14 and a half minutes of main event death match violence, and it definitely delivered. The Houston fans were happy. I was happy. This is just another step forward in the Zilla story, and he's doing it right.
Yeah, great one here says exactly what I was saying, like, and how I feel. Doing a death match in his first 2 dozen matches is insane. And especially he doesn't need to do it, especially with everything that he's got probably coming up in his future here. Definitely does not need to do it. So I was actually really excited, not excited, shocked when he did that dive through the glass like that. Like, I saw the spot happening. I'm like, if he goes through that glass right now, that is going to be insane. And he doesn't need to do any of that, but that just shows he's just willing to do whatever's asked for him and show that he deserves to be where he's at. And I enjoyed everything about this match. And yeah, he definitely stepped up and delivered a good death match with John Wayne Murdoch.
DJ Luda, I said this last week, but Rena versus Zilla would be a great match for the title. I remember we talked about that one. 100% agreed. And then here we are again. Murdoch walked Zilla through that. See, Reed has good eyes on him. That's the truth. He did such a damn good job with it. And again, I like how Zilla's using that dive from the apron. So he's not really giving himself too much risk or as much risk, but it still gives him a little height for that impact. That's extremely well done. This is an interesting one. I don't think Rena could get through Zilla.
Get Zilla through the match.
Oh, I know what you're saying there.
Yeah, like how John Wayne did. Like the John Wayne, but I was said, like there is no one that could do that match for Zilla. Like I would have trusted anybody else to do that match with Zilla other than John Wayne at that point too. And at this stage of his career, like that was the perfect opponent. I agree with Reed. What you say there?
There aren't many. Sorry to run over you there. There aren't many. Maybe Tremont. I know he's one hell of a teacher, but I can still say though he can get more violent than than Zilla needs. You know what I mean? Like maybe Zilla right now still needs to save his face for TV. So we have to watch how he bleeds and where he bleeds. Don't know.
All right.
We did it.
Yes, that is GCW's No Sleep 2024. And then I got a video here off their Twitter again for Crime Wave. So I'm going to play the Crime Wave intro video, and then we will get into GCW's Crime Wave here. Give me 1 second. Oops. Okay. There we go. I swear I've done this before. There we go.
GC Dub.
Joey Janela. Swanton through the door. Cover.
Wait, what the hell?
Wait a second. Blake Christian off the top rope with an elbow drop.
He's got no business being out here. What a spear.
By Megan Bain right to the midsection of Blake Christian. And now Broski Jimmy hitting the ring as well. Radio silence on Megan Bain.
What on earth is going on here?
It's out of control. The CISOs take out Broski Jimmy. Double choke slam. Cover. And she pins both of them. Joey and Megan Bain, they have their backs turned. Steel chair to the back of the bad boy. And just launched at Megan Bain. But from the locker room, making their way to the ring, the opponents of Vance Warner and Broski Jimmy tonight, the one called Manders and Dante Leone.
Back of Broski Jimmy.
Through the barbed wire door, back first goes Mance Warner.
Oh.
But hold on a second. From the locker room, Joey Janela and Megan Bain making their way toward the ring. Steel chair pulled out of the hands of both of them.
There you go. Turnabout is fair play.
Spear from Megan Bain. Connects with Mance Warner. Janela with a super kick on Broski Jimmy. And the lariat from Manders.
But here comes Dante Leon.
Seeking the end of the matchup. Cover. And gets the 3 counts.
All right, that is GCW's Crime Wave. That is at the end there, the main event, and so we will have plenty to talk about when we get there. But we will go into the let's see. No, sorry.
I'm reading Reed's comment here. I won't throw it up there real quick, but he's talking about how Megan and Joey kind of became tag team partners, and he finds it kind of.
No, yeah, we ain't gonna hit that area.
I don't know any better.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, I don't know anything.
All right, GCW Crime Wave 2024 from Gillies in Dallas, Texas.
Whoa is what I wrote right off the bat. Lights out in Dallas. We are so used to seeing a lit up Gillies, and we didn't have it this time. So I was trying to figure out what was different here. I did like the fact that most of the light was coming from those awesome light fixtures, which highlights them even more in a dark room. Also, it has the same old-fashioned yellow bar lights that Phoenix has. I love them, and I have the same lights in my backyard on the patio. Production, I figured it out. So production did a 180 and flipped the camera to the other side of the building. So hard cam now sits where the background on Gillies used to be at all the other shows. So do you know when we're watching at Gillies and there's that huge area, it almost looks like an open mall back there?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the camera is at the open mall area shooting towards this way. So if you have a chance, check it out. Here's what they did. It's a cool trick. They basically shot it towards the wall area, closed the lights down in just that specific area, and shot that way so that you don't have that big semi-empty open area there to make it look like there's less people when there really isn't. So kind of figured that one out, but it took a minute to connect on that. So that's literally the only note I have as a pre-note on this one. I was ready to roll on this one. This was a show that really made me happy. I walked away a happy boy.
See this now. Your turn here. Our first matchup is a returning GCW World Champion Blake Christian, not defending the title. All right, did he say it was for the title? Actually, I can't remember if he said if it was not for the title or not. Goes against Sam Stackhouse. But he decides to cut a little promo before the match. Before we get into that, I don't want to step on your first note there because I loved everything about that one. But I loved having him back. Welcome back, Blake. Loved the HBK gear. Obviously, HBK is probably my #1 wrestler of all time. So that I enjoyed. And I loved the promo of him calling out Brett, saying, "Really, I decided to be selfish for one time out of the whole this year, carrying this company on my back, and I decided to be selfish for a couple weeks, and this is what you allow happen." I loved that promo. It kind of brought some realism into the whole story, which I think we've been kind of missing Blake's voice. I kind of really I still want to hear more of what Blake wants to say. I know last week on when we were kind of talking about it, him in the chat, he said when the time is right, he will let us know and speak on it a little bit more. So I hope he has more to say after what he did in Dallas, but I thought that was a good opening promo to kind of further their story and get the heat kind of back on him.
So Blake was out first in a Mance Warner shirt, and that's where DJ come in and says he loved the shirt that Blake was wearing. It basically says, "Stop breaking the fucking chairs." I also like Blake's new look. It cleaned him up a little bit. And just what you were saying, I love the red and black. I figured the minute you saw that matched with the HBK, you were going to be like, oh, hell yeah. Blake Christian also, when he was on our show, was talking about how much of an influence that Shawn Michaels is to him. And when he was asked what wrestler, dead or alive, he'd like to sit down and talk to, Blake said that Shawn Michaels was the one. So I'm just letting you know there's some influence there.
That shirt too was the biggest troll. I was like, yes, Blake is back and he's still got his troll on. I loved it. Yeah, that shirt was actually like the extra cherry on top for me.
I also love the fact that when Stackhouse came out, I've said it before, but his music has a Stackhouse chant built into it. Fans, if you get a chance, like chant that. I think it would just be kind of fun because the music is set up literally just for chanting. Blake grabs the mic, says he is still the real GCW world champion. This was the first meeting between both Sam and Blake Christian. Blake worked Sam's injured arm. Stackhouse is being built as a strong contender in this match. I really like seeing that. I never get sick of seeing a Stackhouse moonsault. I just won't get sick of those. Our winner in this quick 9-minute match, Blake Christian, he tapped out Sam Stackhouse, which I think was a very impressive visual that he's sitting there at his size, cranking back on Sam's arm as he did. So
that armbar was brutal. That was like my last note I wrote. That armbar was like, that looked like he was really going to snap his arm. So it looked really good. Also I gasped like when bye turtle. When Sam Stackhouse hit like that Rikishi driver on Blake, I gasped like, holy shit, that just drove Blake's head into it. But yeah, great matchup from Blake from Stackhouse against Blake here. Yes, great one. Does say that Blake did say that would put the title on, which I'm glad because it keeps the fact that he is the champion. Yeah, it would have been funny if he would have lost. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Good first match back for Blake. Get the heat back on him, reestablish himself as the GCW champion, and further along all this craziness with that story. And Sam Stackhouse was the perfect opponent, and they delivered a good match. Like I said, there was a couple of spots I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it. For very, very strong opening matchup. Our next matchup was another one that I was actually really looking forward to. Was Alley Catch versus Dulce Tormenta, and I just wanted to see Alley Catch in another serious matchup, not all the goofiness and everything. I wanted to see her just straight one-on-one with Dulce, and that's exactly what I got. So I got everything I wanted from this match. Alley looked good, Dulce looked good once again. And yes, this is the kind of matchup I think that brings out the both best in both competitors. Is a strong, serious matchup, and the Dulce delivered, and Alley Catch delivered it as well.
I felt like that this was the Battle of Texas. That's what it just felt like to me. We have two Texas girls just slugging it out. Both were throwing each other around the ring. Alley was thrown like a bowling ball into fans at one point. Excuse me. This was an unorthodox match in a way that it was very strike heavy, very few holds. I love the Dulce Blue Thunder power bomb. Again, I feel like a decent match, almost 9 minutes long. Our winner was Alley Catch with a vicious pile driver. My notes overall says that we've seen a touch more of Tormenta, and I think it's a good thing. So that's my overall notes on that one.
Yep. Good, solid match. Like I said, this is, I think the style that I prefer to see both of these women wrestle was this, and they delivered a good, solid wrestling match here. Great one goes. But seriously, what if Sam would have beaten Blake? Would that change the match at AC? No, it would have just made Vance versus Joey in a ladder match, not for the title belt no more, because we don't know who the title belt is.
Boy, that would have been a fucked up weird thing, huh?
Hey, man, all some of the weird booking we've seen. Yeah, I don't know what would the hell would have happened there.
Hey, I like the fact that we're kept guessing, because I'll be honest with you, if we got everything we want, that would be boring too.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
And then I will just say here, yeah, Blake was doing great work on Sam's arm. The whole visual looked great because Blake is this size, Sam is this size, and he's just cranking back on him like UFC style. It looks so good.
Yeah. Our third matchup was Jordan Oliver going against John Wayne Murdoch. And my first note here was this is going to be an interesting stylistic matchup, especially after John Wayne Murdoch death match the night before. Now he has to switch it up and have more of a classical matchup with Jordan. And I just also going off of Jimmy of how versatile and a good hand he is for GCW to have all these different types of matchups. John Wayne Murdoch is another one, and this was a good example of it. And yeah, I wrote this was a good solid matchup, and I got a couple more notes at the end.
All right. So Jordan's knee injury was showing some in this match also. He's holding it at times. Murdoch's working it constantly throughout the match. Again, Murdoch's a fun heel. He can be mean, but half the time you can see he's kind of smiling a little bit out the side of his mouth when he's telling you to fuck off. Doors and tables came into play. Jordan's 2K1 variation, this new move that he was doing, it looks great. And I seen it in the previous match also. So I feel like he's just added something to his arsenal. Our winner here, crazy enough.
Sorry.
No, this is one. It's really interesting. Like he grabs a hold of one leg and crosses it over the person's other leg while they're standing. And then he does like a twists them. Dude, it's the weirdest move. Okay. Yeah, he's done it twice. Cool. Yeah, it's called the 2K1, but it's a variation. So I don't know if it's like what it would be, but our winner in this one was Jordan Oliver with a face first shell shock through a door, which I thought was an awesome ending there. The injury for Oliver, I feel like it's hurting his overall, and I feel bad for the guy. So for me, I'm hoping that it's a sell, but if he's not doing well, then we absolutely wish him the best healing and give him all the credit in the world for working injured. Still have to bust ass, still have to pay bills. Good for him.
Yeah, I thought this was a good win for him, and I'm still interested to see where him and Mason goes from here on out. But Jordan, yeah, that 2K1, like he just keeps adding. I just got used to the shell. Oh my god.
The shell
shock as being in his repertoire now, and then now he's in that 2K1. Like I can't keep up. Like I totally missed the 2K1. Like I saw a new move. I'm like, that looked interesting, but I didn't know. Like I was actually thinking of a different move than what you described. So I have to go back and rewatch that.
It's so weird because he'll lock him up. He'll put one leg over the other, like a figure four almost, and then he'll like spin them and they fucking hit the ground. It's the weirdest thing, but it works and it looks good.
Nah, I have to check it out. All right, our next matchup. This actually is probably the one other than Macisos Arez, just because of their names, but matchup wise, this was the one I've been looking forward to for a long time. Sidney Akeem versus Ninja Mac. This is one of these ones where I just wrote like 2 spots. Other than that, you got to check this match out to believe it. You got to see the craziness that they did. This was awesome. And just first and foremost, thank God, Ninja Mac, welcome back. It's awesome seeing him back whenever we can. He's still killing it in Noah, which is really cool to see. And anytime we get to see him back in GCW, I'm always excited. And this matchup forward, like I think everybody was asking, I think even Ninja Mac probably made a special trip just for this match in Houston to come out and have this match against Sydney, because I think they kind of grew up in the wrestling business kind of together since they were doing the same thing. And they just kind of went 2 different paths, but seeing them kind of connect and reunite now in GCW and have this very unique and intriguing matchup was awesome. And you got to go check it out. I don't have too much notes on it, but I'll get to the spots here after you do.
No, we got lucky because Ninja Mac and Houston go hand in hand. So I'm feeling like maybe this was a short trip, but I don't know if maybe Ninja was coming from Japan because he's constantly working over there. I wrote in my notes here, finally, this was something I was really looking forward to seeing on the card. No offense to others, but it's fucking Sydney and Ninja. So I felt like, let's fucking go. We had an athletic tit for tat here. Lots of innovation. We got flippy ship chants from the crowd. They're both saying funny stuff in the ring, but it's really hard to hear. And I can hear that the crowd's laughing at whatever they're saying. Halfway in, and I just wrote down, I swear they're showing off. Both go tope crazy. Sydney launches himself and almost goes head first into the stage steps. They fought then up and into and on the stage. Then they torpedoed themselves off of the stage. Our winner here was Sidney Akeem with a cutter for 3. 2 notes I have here. Number 1, very flippy in a good way. Number 2, if we had a cruiserweight belt, this would would be where we would have a championship match. This was championship quality matchup right here.
Yeah, I loved it. I forgot who it was. I think one of the MLJ Prazak said like they're having wrestling horse out there because they were just like doing the same move that they were doing. And I love that whole concept of wrestling horse. I was like, that's got to be a little sideshow. If GCW ever has to do a settlement series, they got to do a game of wrestling horse on it. Like, I just love that idea. That was funny. This match lived up to the hype. As you said, this is one of your like anticipated matchups. I wrote like I haven't been excited for a matchup in a long ass time. And I think the last one I wrote down that I could think of off the top of my head was Speedball versus Vikingo. Like seeing that match announced, I was like, yeah, in 4 months, I want to watch that match, and I'm excited. This one was up there with it, and it lived up to its hype. The Ninja Mac doing the backflip and then landing on the stairs as Emo like lost his shit over. I thought that was cool. But then, as you said, you mentioned the Sydney dive like into the stairs. Sydney dove and like leapfrogged Ninja Mac and then landed face first into the stairs. Like he jumped over and through Ninja Mac, which was insane. And the velocity that he flew into those stairs, like I got scared that he did hit those stairs face first. That was just like a holy shit, like the speed that Sydney had. And I loved it. This was everything I wanted this match to be. I want to see it again. As a Great One says, Sydney versus Alres, give it to me. Alres would be a nice, fun fit with those two competitors. But yeah, this hit everything I expected it to be, and I loved it. And I was once again happy for both of them to get this GCW platform to have a cool moment with them being kind of friends, and having this matchup together was a pretty cool special moment for me to see.
And they gave him 13 minutes to just play. I love that too. They just said, you know what? Training wheels are off. Enjoy yourselves. Stay within this box. You're cool. And they absolutely rocked it.
Yep. I agree. Gringo versus Sydney is another nice matchup. Yeah. Sydney, I think I would love to see him kind of stay and do some more work in GCW and kind of showcase what he wasn't able to do in WWE, because I think he obviously, just like Ninja Mac, could do a lot of very innovative things. And I think we're just starting to see what is in his in his bag of tricks there.
100%, man.
All right. Our next matchup was another very me-friendly match, as it is for the GCW tag titles, as Violence is Forever defends it against Los Desperados, Gringo and Arez. And yes, I was really excited to back-to-back matches. They got my attention. I even I don't know if I wrote it, but I was thinking Texas got a nice 2 sets of cards. I was really impressed by the matchups and quality of the cards that they got. They got two good shows. And that's like, at this point was when I started realizing like it's been nonstop heater after heater after heater of a match, and it was fun to see. And this one was another Violence tag defense from Violence is Forever.
This is our 14th match of the weekend, and we finally have a legit title defense. This is the only title defense of the weekend, so enjoy it. I liked the matching gear of both teams. Violence is Forever in the green and silver, Desperados mostly black and gold. Violence is Forever kept up the energy early, as their strategy was all about teamwork. They did everything they could to do in the opening minutes to close out the match as soon as possible. Gringo and Arez, through time, have become very familiar with each other. That cohesion matters in times where quick adjustments need to be made on the fly. I also like the fluidity of Los Desperados plugging in members as needed, like Mago and several others. Violence is Forever put on a clinic on how teamwork works. Doorbridge was built. Coup was put through. Gringo with an exploding glow door when it hit Dominic Guarini. Our winner in this one, Violence is Forever, with Chase the Dragon on Gringo Loco. I wrote in my follow-up here, both teams worked their ass off. Great use of teamwork and strategy throughout the match.
Yeah, I love the story that they told in there. Like, Arez and Gringo have to get innovative and crazy to beat Violence is Forever, but Violence just went down to like their hardcore, like what's made Violence is Forever, and that's the tag moves and the violence that they provided. I enjoyed this. I think I would love to see this turn into a feud. I think that, like, obviously I've said it. I think that's what's missing. I've been saying it for a while. That's what's missing in title scenes, I think, for me in GCW, is creating real challengers instead of just plucking them and then giving them a couple wins right before they challenge for the belt. I think this one would be a fantastic feud, and a good tag feud that would, as it kind of would rebuild into that tag division, as you said, with all these fun names, Macizo's coming back. I want to see like kind of like the tag team turmoil start happening again, but great matchup from Los Desperados. Want to see them in the tag scene, chasing a title, and being in a feud of Violence is Forever, I think would be a great way to do that. Our next matchup was a 3-way trios match, as we have Mother, Father, Daddy. I love that one. Cole Radrick, Dark Sheik, and Effie going against the Bob Squad, Bobby Flacco, Chris Carter, and Shota, versus the Lucha Libre guys, Calibus, Epidemius Jr., and Mago. I loved it. This was a fun little trios, 3-way trios match to just get all the fan favorites in there, get the local talents back in there again. I enjoyed it, and seeing the team of Mother, Father, Daddy was the highlight for me, and a treat.
I only have a few notes on this one because it was chaos and only 7.5 minutes long. They put a lot into this match. I could not have possibly taken notes. There's just no way. It's just chaos. So just go watch the chaos and enjoy it. I love the name Bob Squad. I thought it was fucking funny. What's up, Flacco? Lucha Libre guys was a funny name too. I'm enjoying the creativity of what they're coming up with. Lucha Libre guys is just so generic, but that's what kind of
they
makes
asked Brett,
funny.
hey, what should we name these guys? Lucha Libre guys.
Lucha Libre guys. Why not? Also, I'm trying to stay away from the Epidemius Jr. name because you're saying it way better than I can.
That's the only thing I stuck with me, just because the way Emil kept on saying this. And I think like Brett or Prazak goes like, is that how you pronounce it? And like Emil's like, I think so. And like, I'm sticking with that one.
Well, I've been doing my studying on the medical stuff too. So I'm seeing epididymis, which is a completely different thing than the this match started with 2 teams initially. Then music hits and out came Effie, Cole, and Allie as Mother, Father, Daddy to add some star power to this match. I felt like adding them to the match really made it feel more like a party. It made it feel a little more important, and I became more invested in the match because of that. I felt like this was a great place to put them also where they were at here. Also, last thing, streamers flew in the ring. You have my heart. I'm also a big fan of streamers. So thank you, fans.
I don't know if we did the winner net, but Mother, Father, Daddy did pick up the victory. I saw you delete that real fast. I'm like, well, I don't think he said that. Maybe I missed it.
Fuck. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It was a fun match. After everything,
start drinking.
Drink more water.
Drink more water. Yeah, I'll stick to water at this point.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun match. Good placement after the previous 2 matchups. Good, fun matchup to kind of break away of what we were going to see to end the night. And the next matchup was Galeno del Mal versus Fuego del Sol. Glad to see Galeno back. I wrote, and David versus Goliath here. And I realized I just wrote the same notes twice. Fuego found a house in GCW to showcase his skills.
Welcome to my world.
Right? No, but I was just happy to see Fuego get another good match and Galeno del Mal see him back. I know we were really happy to see him the first time we saw Galeno. We thought he brought good size, speed, and wrestling, and like the intensity to the product. And against Fuego, I thought that was a good, perfect David versus Goliath heel match. David versus Goliath matchup, with Galeno being the heel to Fuego to get the fans behind Fuego. And I thought this was actually very good match that showcased both of them.
Fuego was out first. I have to say that purple and gold looks great on him. All right, here. What's my next note on Galeno? Yes, Galeno del Mal is big. I'm a big fan of all that beef. He's young. Everything that was funny now that I heard the way it said. Everything in him screams classic Haas. Even his barrel chest and build is old school. I would make him an enforcer for someone immediately until he becomes more comfortable with his career. His speed for that size is incredible also. I don't say guarantee, but I guarantee he's going to be a big deal soon. I just think it's a matter of when, as long as his body can handle all of the size. I could see a storyline where Sam steps in to help Fuego and we get a face-off.
I'm excited. Yes, give me the Fuego House tag team all over again.
And in this match, Fuego did not let himself be pushed around or held down for very long. He's a fighter, and he showed that. They did a lot of the fans' perception of this. Did a lot for the fans' perception of Fuego, is what I wanted to say, reinforcing that he's a fighter no matter the size. Either way, though, our winner in this one was Galeno Del Mal. And I wrote in my last message, I love both of these guys a lot. And if I can see them more, by all means.
Yep. I wrote the same thing. Galeno Del Mal deserves to be seen again in GCW. Kev, yeah, I think we went over that the very first time we saw him, or I remember learning about that. I think John wrote that down the very first time we saw him on his notes of Galeno Del Mal. And I was like, and that's when I was like, wait, what? And he's like so young too, right? Isn't he like 22, 21, something like that? Like a really young, like, and I was just like blown away. Like I remember like just being impressed with seeing him for the first time in the ring. And then you came out with all these stats and his history and everything. I was just like, yes, feed him to us, give more of him to us. Cause I loved everything he does in in a ring so far that we've seen in GCW. And I think he could do a lot of fun things with the other talents, traveling with GCW as well.
22 years, 5 years in ring, 6'5", 297. That's pretty fucking impressive, man. And he doesn't have, he's a 2-time champion right now. PCW Ultra Heavyweight and the Crash Tag Team Champion.
Oh, he wrestles for PCW. I didn't know that.
And his tag team champions with Dr. Wagner Jr. So it's father-son thing going on right now. But yeah, double champion right now. His only other champion, the IWRG Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, 438 days.
Yeah, I Galeno, feed him to me more. Like he's impressive in such a young age. He's only going to get better. And that's freaking scary. Like I want to see Zillow versus Galeno. That'd be like, even though both are still green, it might be a little sloppy match, but it'd be just the intensity and chaos would be fun. Fuego's been working very hard. That's why I'm glad that he's getting to showcase all that hard work in GCW, where he wasn't able to showcase as much as he has been in AEW. So I'm glad Fuego's been able to do what he's been doing in GCW. Kev says, tags with his other brother, and trio with the father too.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, I and that's one thing too. I wrote, I think it was probably during this match. I didn't write it down, but I was thinking it because I was watching Hechicero versus MJF on the screen next to me. Like at the same time I was watching this, Lucha was all over my screens all weekend long, and I fucking loved it. And it wasn't just the high flying, let's just fly out of the ring and just do a bunch of shit, people in and out. I got to see that. I got to see Hechicero and his crazy innovativeness in the ring, like just twisting people up. Like he just reminded me of Big Rarez. I loved it. You got to see the good technical wrestling. You got to see the storyline. I just loved all the Lucha I got to see this weekend. It just was like Lucha in my face, and it was a cool thing to see. And it's a very fun type of wrestling to watch.
Yeah, I'm a Lucha guy, so for me, I was in heaven all weekend. You are too, so it's like I love Lucha. Love when they go to the Southwest, Texas or the Southwest. Man, anytime they get there, here comes all the Lucha, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, every new Lucha that I learned through GCW has been incredible. So keep it coming because it has been fun. All right, our next matchup is Microman versus Danhausen. This was another one. Like, where are we gonna go with this match? I just put the phone down and I wanted to see kind of what chaos Danhausen and Microman would bring to Dallas, and I enjoyed everything they did. Danhausen's kind of also finding a little spot in GCW as well. I'm just loving all these names, new and old, getting all these chances in GCW because they've been connecting too. I think they've been all like stepping up. They realize like GCW is getting harder to get into with all these new names and already names. Like if I get that one opportunity, that's my moment to shine, and I gotta knock it out of the park to come back. And it's just been fun seeing everybody hit home runs nonstop.
I feel like there's been a heavy personality focus. Microman personality, Danhausen personality. This is happening more. Oh yeah.
Sheik got the mic. Jordan got the mic. We're seeing other wrestlers too even if it's a short amount of time, getting a little bit of mic time to showcase their personalities. And I think that's been awesome and fun. And that just gets fans more invested into the stories.
any sentence that utters out of a wrestler's mouth is another sentence that goes into a fan's head that makes them connect and feel that they are closer and know that their performer, their favorite wrestler better. Anytime you can get on a mic. I've been watching Jordan Oliver's last two videos he posts on his X page. Like, they're awesome.
Yep.
Keep doing it. And I will say this much, outside of most of the other performers, Jordan Oliver was cutting promos back in his really young days. So this is not something new for him whatsoever. He's just bringing it back out and doing it more. And I think it's been a good thing for him. And I like it a lot. He does a good job with them.
Yeah.
So this was going to be a normal match, but Danhausen challenged to make it a mask versus mask. So Danhausen, funny thing, has a mask and puts it on and wrestles with it. I do wonder how long it took Danhausen to get that mask made, because those things don't just happen overnight. I don't know. I was laughing at Danhausen's curse going directly over Micro Man's head.
I love that. Who was on commentary? Was it Veda Scott?
No, that's a good question. I don't
like. I'll be honest. Like, I was watching all these things late, so I had like my headphones down, so I didn't catch a lot of commentary this weekend. But like, yeah. I remember someone goes like, "Oh, that's unfair!" Like that poor fan out there, just because.
Yes.
Like the curse went right over his head. Oh no, it was Alley Catch. It was Alley Catch, not Veda. I'm sorry. It was my bad. I fixed it before you got to me. It was Alley Catch. But yeah, Alley Catch was pretty funny on commentary during this match.
I'm going to just bring that up just for a second right there. I think what Brett said last week, GCW's in the sports entertainment. They really are. They're dipping their toe into it because I think it's a smart thing to do. And we spoke about that last week, where number one, it gives intelligent fans a lot more to chew on. And it makes it a little easier on people like us who are sitting out here talking about this, because we can only say that was a great tope so many times. But if we have a story somewhere in there, then we can work with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. My signal, it looks like the signal was being funny for a minute.
Yeah, I waited for you went like robotic. I was like, what'd you like? I got what you said though. No, I agree though, because like I think it's just evolving. It's GCW evolving. They got like, I think we kind of talked about it. Felt like it kind of got stagnant there for a little bit. They need something a little bit different. Doesn't need to be something dramatic that's not part of GCW. But I think with Cardona's injury going out and him still wanting to be on the road and make money and be on the show and help improve GCW, I thought this was a perfect evolution of, even for however long it goes, I think it's going to be good for GCW right now. Yes, it was Ali. I fixed it myself before I got corrected. It was Ali, not Veda. I remember hearing a woman's voice, but like I said, my headphones were down. I was like, I don't think Veda got on just for one Danhausen match, but yeah, this was a fun match. I know I cut you off there. I'll let you go, because I did absolutely love that fucking spot of the curse flying over Micro Man.
No, you didn't cut me off. Actually, I wanted to hear what you had to say, because he's like, boom. And then they almost performed the spot where the little person in a monkey suit gets kicked off the apron really hard. You know, that old video from Mexico? You could even hear the fans go, oh, and then they kind of stop. Micro also pulling off the 5 moves of doom. It's fantastic. Danhausen goes to pour teeth in Micro's mouth, and Micro's mask doesn't have a mouth hole for it to be poured into. This shit is so funny. Micro has the cape and he's cursing Danhausen. We almost got a Micro F5. Which was another fun thing. Yeah, and again, all of this shit happened in less than 6 minutes, by the way. Our winner here, Micro Man, with a big splash for 3. That was Micro's 9th singles win in a row. He's been undefeated in singles action since Joey Janela on February 4th of this year. So we're approaching now 5 months of undefeated. We're talking half a year undefeated, that man. So I'm a fan. I'm cool with it. What do you think?
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah, Micro Man, I really enjoy, because he like each match is different. Like, yes, now he's doing like the 5 moves of doom and the F5 and stuff, which has been like fun. But I think like each weekend, like he modifies and like changes up the match and like makes it different. Like it's not feeling like we're seeing the same shit over and over, which I was actually kind of scared of. The more I kept on seeing his name announced for future shows, I'm like, kind of like Santana Jackson, we're like, hey, we're going to see too much of it. We're going to get bored of it or sick of it, not want to see it no more. But he's been like every weekend just doing something different. I've been loving it. And everywhere he goes, the fans love seeing him. So I'm all for seeing Micro Man all over my GCW ring, and it's been fun.
Yeah, outside of a few moves, he hasn't given away his formula yet, and I like that.
Yeah, I enjoy what he's been doing.
Also, and I'm sorry, but like we were saying earlier, part of his formula is allowing the creativity of the opponents. So it keeps him fresh, match over match.
And seeing Danhausen, this was like a perfect story kind of comedy match for him too. Like as we kind of like this was a stylistic match that's like perfect to showcase what the Danhausen character is all about.
I need to be corrected. Yeah, the monkey was Masquerita Dorada. No kidding. Now
I think he is getting later down low. I'm about to say,
oh.
I'm about to say, I don't know.
I was gonna say
is a little bit taller than that.
So my original read on that is I believe that the gentleman in the outfit there, I believe, was Microman's dad, who's also extremely popular in Mexico. But I can always be wrong. It's just there's not a lot of men that size.
Chemo or Chemo. I remember seeing that name for the monkey. So Microman versus Maki Ito Extreme title. I'll take it as long as like Microman's at least out here in the States defending it. No offense, Maki. Welcome back whenever she comes back. I know she got announced here soon, so hopefully she comes back defending that shit nonstop. But yeah, Microman versus Maki. Microman versus Maki would be a fun matchup as well. I would be all down for that one.
Oh man,
hear Microman sing a Maki song. All right. Our next matchup here is a tag match. Did you come up with that name, or did somebody say that? I missed it too.
No. They said it. Okay. Janela says,
right.
Yeah.
We got Janela and Bane, the Janelasis instead of the Megasis. I like it. Going against Los Macizos, and yeah, the seeing Janela and Bane versus Macizos. I was looking forward to it. I was kind of expecting a little bit of the fuckery at the end of the match, but not what we got. And I didn't get too into the match just because I was kind of thinking some other stuff would happen, and it did. But I think for what it was kind of nice seeing Macizos back in GCW and in the match. Seeing the team of Janela and Bane. I think they're putting that together now as working together as a tag team, and I love at least the ending of it. This match just was fun until it got fucked up at the end, but I didn't really write too many notes on the match other than it was fun with all the fuckery and seeing the team of Janelasis finally working together as a team.
I wrote here, we've got Beauty and the Beast action going on. So what, you know what I mean? It kind of, the tough wrestler, this and that, and then here comes this lady that comes out, and it's like, whoa.
So who's Beauty and the Beast and Macizos?
Oh, Ciclope is definitely the beauty in that group. Like he's got all the personality. Like if there's one that's gonna wear something like wow, it's gonna be Ciclope, I think. I don't know. He seems like he has a little more flavor to him than Miedo, but you never know. Los Macizos, the potential level of violence makes this matchup extremely intriguing. I didn't know how far they were going to go, especially with Bane in the ring. As a team, Janelasis is literally working together really well. Los Macizos didn't take it easy on Janelasis at all. Megan with a double belly-to-belly suplex. They're booking her extremely strong. Macizos were also doing great. I felt like they were back in classic form. Then out of nowhere comes Blake Christian. Megan spears him. Broski hits radio silence on Bane. Macizos team up to take out Broski Jimmy. Our winner here was Janelasis. Megan then continues her undefeated streak. Broski and Mance are standing in the ring. Out comes Dante Leon and one called Manders, and we seamlessly flowed right into our main event. I'm gonna stop because you haven't had a chance to talk yet.
Here's my notes. I wrote interesting matchup, was a fun match, and then fuckery ensued, and I loved all the fuckery because it bled into the main event. It bled into the main event, and the main event bled into more storytelling, and I loved how it all just seamlessly felt like a 30-minute segment put into one to get to the ending that we'll go over. And I thought it was cool of getting there, and it didn't, like, Macizos just was happy to be a pawn of it, and I don't mind it because at least they were involved with it in some way. So I actually, that's kind of what I wrote. I loved the fuckery that ensued, and it just makes sense, and I enjoyed it.
Another way to take the Megan Bane name, like Megasis and whatnot, maybe we could take like Mega Joey. like Megasis and Joey Janela. Like
I like
Joey.
this one.
Sounds
Janela
like
sus.
a transformer. Janela sus. Yeah, well.
All right, I don't want to
Yeah.
get into it. I like
Anyway, I
right.
like that one though.
Our main event was this tag match as the One Called Manners teams up with Dante Leon going against Broski, Jimmy, and Mance Warner. I'll let you go on there because I kind of got stuff at the end of the match.
Sure. So I have all four brawling. Dante's on the top rope. He got a chair and launched it at his head. The fight's totally outside the ring. It feels like two different matches are happening simultaneously, which I love that. Manders ate a chair later on. It rattled him pretty good. It was a brutal match. We have a barbed wire covered door. Mance ends up going through it. Dante Leon shooting star press on Mance Warner through a door bridge. Dante then went for a swanton and got two knees to his back. Janela and Megan Bain come back to the ring. They take chairs away from Broski and Mance. Megan spears Mance. Janela super kick. Leon and Manders cover for the win. So our winners here, Manders and Dante Leon. I felt like this was chaotic at the end, which made it for a very good show towards the ending there. Yeah, that's what I have in my notes. What are you thinking?
I love to the part where like Megan Bain comes in, like throws the chair back at Mance Warner for payback of what he did to her. Like I the replay, like the replay of it was perfect for me, and I enjoyed seeing that one. But I was kind of like going back a little frustrated seeing Dante move around as much as he was of why there wasn't a title match the night before. But I don't want to stay on that too long, but it just got me going as a fan. If I was at that Texas show, I'd be at that Houston show, I would have not been too happy seeing the next night both competitors wrestling just fine and in a match that didn't happen at a show of mine. But I was happy for Manders to be involved in it. I was actually surprised they got the win. Like that was actually my shocking point. I thought for sure Mance and Jimmy would kind of keep on the heat streak going and picking up a win for Deathmatch Royalty. But especially since Manders and like Dante aren't in the story or involved in anything major, that's what kind of was shocked with me. But good for Manders. I'm hoping they do lead this towards something with Manders staying involved with the Mance Warner story. And at the end with with Joey and Megan coming back out, I just loved how all those three are wrestling and fighting each other and acknowledging each other. And I wish they would kind of do a sit down with those three, like how they did with Mance and Effie. Like shit, maybe we like, hey, let's reach out before they steal that idea and put it on social media. But I would love to just have those three just sit there and behind the scenes and just talk and like old school TV style, like what are those reality TV style? Like bring him on, Jerry Springer, sit him down, let him just go. Talk and I think that would be fantastic. But them all interacting right now is no, we didn't see. I don't think we missed any tweet. I think we know what the story is there. I just think it would be a cool little thing to further that story along. But seeing them all three interact with each other has been cool and hypes up Homecoming for sure.
All right. You want me to run through these upcoming shows, or was there anything you wanted to talk about before we got into?
No, I just thought it was an overall good way to end Texas. I enjoyed the Texas two-step that they did there. A lot of good matches. I loved all the content there, and the matchups that were there were awesome. And I think it was a overall good, fun shows both nights, and continued the stories. And even possibly started another one with Mason and Jordan. So I was happy with how the weekend turned out too. And yeah, let's do the upcoming shows because I'd like to do a little preview section here because we got some fun stuff coming up here.
All right. Well, great one is correct. We just got another batch of backyard talent announced in the last 15 minutes. That's going to be the first show I go over right now. So Thursday, July 4th, 2 days from now, GCW Backyard Wrestling 6 from Backyard USA. So far, the names announced have been Violent J, Nick Gage, JJ Allen, Dr. Redacted, Kerry Morton, Lucky 13, Tarzan Duran, and Claude Merrow Jr. So looking forward to that. That's going to be live on Triller TV Plus. It's going to be on my TV while the family's over, so they're going to like it or they're going to hate it.
I'll be watching that one at night after we're going to a family's house first, and I'll come home and watch that. But I like the names though. We got Kerry Morton, haven't seen him in a bit. Nice to see him back. Get Claude Moreau, aka Ruckus. I'm excited to have him back. I'll be honest with you, Violent J totally threw me off. I thought that was like somebody using a different name, and then I opened up. I'm like, oh shit, it's Violent J. Like,
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think the backyard show is going to be fun. Dr. Redacted was the one name that stuck out to me. I hope he kind of shows out here. I kind of wouldn't mind get him involved with our deathmatch scene in GCW. This would be a good showcase, and as we said, a good put up or shut up moment for him. That's kind of the one name I'm really looking forward to see what happens on Backyard. But Backyard is just going to be just one of those fun, relaxing shows that you just sit back and enjoy. So I am excited for it.
You know, Dr. Redacted's one of the few names that are fresh in the deathmatch scene when we were talking about how the American deathmatch scene's a little light right now. You know, I mean, that's one of them. He's out there, he's doing it, he's bleeding, he's going hardcore as much as anyone else. There's only so few. So I recommend also, you know, get him in there sometime. I don't know about the wrestling, but I know the bleeding and the death matching for sure I can account for, because that's what I have seen. All right, then. What's that?
We got a couple of Dr. Redacted comments here, but it'd be nice to see more of him in deathmatch side of GCW. That's kind of what we were just saying here. Yeah. And I didn't know that there was there Circle 6 show the same way. So yeah, that's kind of surprising. I want to see what happens there.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm excited for Backyard though.
It's always a fucking highlight. I might have to go back and watch a couple of them, because each one has a specific flavor and a reason why I like each one. Like number 1 was just number 1. Big fan of number 4 because it looks like where I grew up on a farm. No shit. And then number 5, I just thought 5 was just so much fuckery that I thought it was cool. They had the ball pit and they had all the pools and the trampolines, and so you know, we had a dive off the roof. Dude, I love it all though. So
that's it. We can see some names that we see for the first time there too.
Looking forward to it. I don't know about Janela. I wonder if that's happening. I know he's booked on another show the same day. So
yeah, Janela's not going to be at 4th of July.
Early? Okay. Yeah, because I didn't check the time on that other show. I don't remember.
I think he flat out even. I think someone even said that. Are we going to see you? And he's like, nope, I'm booked. I think.
Huh. Bussy also, interestingly enough. All right. So Friday, July 5th. This is going to be the day after 4th of July if you're a math major. GCW's Worst Behavior 2024 live from the Opera House in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Has a lot of really interesting matchups here. We have Gabe Kidd versus Joey Janela, Gringo Loco versus Galeno Del Mal, Violence is Forever versus Deathmatch Royalty, Bollywood Boys versus Garbage Daddies, Mike Bailey versus Kerry Morton, Jordan Oliver versus Charles Mason, Gage and Bussy versus PCP Manny, Sexy Eddie, and Green Phantom. And then we also have an appearance by the GCW General Manager, Matt Cardona. That's a loaded fucking card.
Don't erase it because I've used it for my stuff here. So I could like.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that card's strong, dude. That is like every one of those matches. I can't like sit there and say like, oh, like I'll take the headphones off on that match. Like, no, that is a strong card. Like, and I'm glad because last time they were in Toronto, they had a very. I think that was where Bailey and Masha had their crazy match, if I'm not mistaken, for the belt, and that was insane. But Gabe Kidd versus Janela, I am that one. I want to see what happens there, because I don't know, that seems like it could cause Gabe Kidd could cause a little something there with Joey. I'm interested. Like, those are just two personalities getting together that could cause a lot of chaos. I'm excited for that one. But yeah, Gringo de Galeno, Bollywood Garbage, and that's a strong lineup, man. That is a very strong card. I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. What else is on here?
PCP Manny, because I know when we talked about when the IWS, when they last were out there, he reached out to us and kind of gave us some background stories on his injury and everything else, and appreciated the kind words we said about him too. So I'm excited to see him. And actually the next night, I know when we go over that, that's going to be the one. I think that's going to be the one where like we might not be seeing PCP Manny for a while.
Yeah, that guy's wild. If you ever follow him on X, it is hilarious. He's like, well, I'm doing this drug today, and then off he goes to whatever he does.
I've been high on shrooms for the last 5 hours. What about you guys?
Yeah. I've been seeing colors since 7 a.m. How about you? I like him though. He seems like a really cool guy, and if he's got time on his hands, and do what you do, brother. Enjoy yourself. All right.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked if we're going to actually review any of this because this is more of an IWS show. But Saturday, July 6th, we have IWS versus GCW Scarred for Life live from l'Olympia in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We have a couple. I used to take French.
Spending some time on. Sounds like you've been spending time on a speedball stream there.
Actually, I do. That's another story, though. No, my wife and I actually like to sit there and listen to Speedball and Veda talk. We always like to hit them with questions every now and then. Speedball is one of my favorites. No, I figured I'll use the French right here. That's pretty much all the French I have in me. Set to appear on this show: Joey Janela, Masha Slamovich, Jimmy Lloyd, Gringo Loco, Mance Warner, and Nick Gage. So this is a show you don't want to miss. And like I said, we'll have to think about how much time we have or whatnot to go over watching a third show and doing, reviews on it. So
I pulled up the card on Cage Match. They got like a full card already announced on Cage Match.
Yeah.
If you want me to run down it. Oh, you already know.
Please.
It? Okay.
No, I
okay.
didn't. I knew it was there. Okay, so here's what happened. I took the notes down and I looked at it, and the minute you said, "Oh yeah, they have the whole card on Cage Match," I'm like, "Fuck, that's right."
No, that was lucky. Usually they don't have usually they'll just have like one or two, and then like some of the other ones are always wrong. But this one is looks like spot on. So first they have a 4-way match: James Stone versus Benjamin Toll versus Joey Janela versus Gabe Kidd. 3-way match: Masha Slamovich, Kristara, and Katrina Creed. 6-way scramble: Sexy Eddie, Ben Ortmans, Bob Anger, Alex Mays, Dante Dubois, and Tara Zepp. See, that's the name I just brought up. Yeah, we didn't see Tara Zepp now. 6-man tag match: Jimmy Lloyd teaming with Young, Dumb, and Broke, Charlie Tiger and Jordan, going against Casanova Productions. Actually, I'm really looking forward to that match now. JT Producer, Matt Viviani, and Steven Maines. Tag team match: this is that one name I always loved. I can never pronounce, but I loved it. Le Tabernacle Day Team. Matthew St. Jacques and Thomas Dubois going against Bussy. I just remember we liked that team. I remember.
Yeah.
This is the match that I think might be PCP Manny's last match. This is the death match against Nick Gage. That I think we got to talk about that match for sure, no matter what. Then we got a GCW World Title match. Mance defending against Green Phantom, and then the IWS World Title match. Carl Jepsen defending against Gringo Loco. Yeah, I don't know. We might have to cover at least some of that card. If not, but yeah, that's going to be a busy one. Where we go, Mance versus Blake Superhard if they don't want to do.
What if Green Phantom picks up the win over Mance and takes the GCW World Title? Fucks up the whole card.
I'm all for the fuckery. As I said, I'm all for chaos. Somebody has said, what if there might be time for them to put the belt on somebody else between now and then? I don't know, but then that will just further prove my point of why announce that damn ladder match that so far ahead of advance when you got all this time where you could be putting a bunch of different cool shit together. But I don't want to go into that. Good
point. Again. No, it's a good point. I remember you going on about that too, though, because you're like, look, it makes sense. Public perception is this. So if it needs explaining, maybe it needs to be less complicated, I think is the best way to put it. So if Brett or somebody has to explain, here's why we do it this way, then maybe it's too complicated for the average person.
I'll be honest, I can see Mance and Blake looking at each other like, fuck you. All right, we ain't wrestling, and then just walk away. There's no match to keep the heat. Nobody went. I would literally not even a finger poke of doom. Just there is no match. They just argue and they just agree. No, we're not wrestling in front of you shitty fans. We're leaving. I want to see happen now.
That's interesting because they're like, you know what? One of us is going to lose. I don't feel like losing. Do you? He's like, no. He's like, well, fuck it. Let's just not participate. See you later. That's a total heel move too.
Let's save ourselves for Joey and beat the fuck out of him. And then the real two champions will decide who's the champions. And then boom, there you go.
That's an interesting and then how much are all Cardona's people going to get involved? How many deathmatch royalty people are going to get involved in the match? You know what I mean? So you have SDL. You've got Broski, you've got Cardona that can fuck with the rules from behind a microphone. So there's
Mercer.
Dude, there's so much there that there's so much there that there's too many working parts again. So I don't know. Yeah, Phantom goes into business for himself and puts himself over. You know what? He deserves it. Maybe he needs to have just one. Give it to him. Yeah, though
That's gonna be
PCP,
a fun
man.
matchup, though.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be chaos.
Manson, Green Phantom. I think that's about like think of the last time we had all these, like they did like the team GCW versus team IWS. I think we said I think we like put those 4 in matches, and I'm pretty sure we said like Mansporter versus Green Phantom would be like perfect. But I don't think we had it for the GCW
Green Phantom
title at that time.
No, we did not. Green Phantom is OG CZW, like way OG CZW. So if you take that and match that with the Mance Warner, who's Southern Psycho, old 80s right now, WCW, that could be very bloody. And I'm hoping it is very, very bloody between those two. Carl Jepsen, off the top of my head, I can't remember much about him. And that's unfortunate too, because just I can't see the person.
If I remember, he was like the big guy, like I think he was like Harry. I don't know, like that's the name that's kind of come to my head. He was like a big muscle guy that just had like hair all over. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to though. Like last time they delivered a fantastic card. PCP Manny almost killed himself, and that was in a crazy match. And this match against Nick Gage, I just see. I'm excited. Like that's a strong card. That Toronto card was strong by itself, but then you add in the next night and a couple of those spotlight matches. That's strong. That's a good weekend.
Oh boy. Well,
plus all the fun of backyard.
Yeah, dude. Backyard's my jam. I love that. I'm actually happy they only do it once a year because I felt like if they do it 2 or 3 times, it'd be overkill. It'd take away the magic.
The backyard?
Backyard, yeah.
Oh, it has to be 4th of July only. Yeah, this is like perfect. It's like it honestly is like one of those shows like I go out of my way and it's just excited to watch because like I went to the one that it's a totally different environment. They're all there having fun, eating. Literally, Joey's drinking high noons over there right before his match. Before with the the bad boy John, was it who did he wrestle that day? The cousin Donnie Janela.
Donnie Janela. Jeez, that guy. Okay, something about Donnie though. I feel like he would be just a fun guy to hang around. I don't know. Every time I see him, I'm like, man, he would be a party. I don't know why or how. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to mention it. Did we cover all of our subjects for the night, sir?
I think so. We hit all the shows, and I think we gotta rest up because next week we're gonna be a long one, I think.
Yeah, and so I will say again, we're looking at well over 350 people in here. We have a lot of listeners. Get in contact with us. Basically, just DM me if you have the opportunity. If you're going to a show and you're someone who's listened for a while, get in contact with us. We would like to hear your story. And if it's somebody we can at least, remotely trust, you can come on for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Tell us what was going on live. I think everybody wants to hear that. And again, this is about the fan experience here at Game Changer Weekly. And I think one of the most important pieces of any of these shows is the live experience. So for us to bring the live experience to all of our listeners, we want to bring some of the fans onto our show. So whoever may be in Toronto, maybe we can talk behind the scenes about getting someone from Toronto in here, Chicago, so on and so forth. So just wanted to kind of announce that. I find that might be exciting for a lot of listeners who may go to these shows and want to give their input and come on here for a while. So floor is open and we're hoping to do something fun with it.
Yes, yeah. I like to hear some of these stories that obviously we don't see on TV. Like we had a great one. I know Cole told us a couple stories about like the collective weekend and stuff that since we weren't there, about like what happened out there and stuff like that. So it's always cool to hear and see what happens at the shows because we can't see it for ourselves.
And again, the fan forum community town hall thing that we're doing, that's definitely got to be happening again too. It went over crazy. Everyone loved it. I had so many DMs the next day going, hey, can I get on? Hey, can I get in? Because it was just a wild success. So many fans that love GCW want to give their opinion. And then here come a few performers to kind of spice up the night. And then Brett comes in. So that was unexpected. I did try to get a hold of some performers to come in, and a good chunk of them did come in, but Brett, I did not expect that whatsoever. So, yep, we're going to make everything more interactive. That's what it's about. You don't want to watch just 2 guys talking all the time. This is about all of us and for all of us. So even though we try to be as much of the popular opinion, but also giving our own at the same time, it's important that we hear from other people too. That's the only way that we cover everyone's opinion not just ours. So,
Yep.
Yep, there we go, DJ. Just get a hold of me. See if we can get you in here. I'll get you in the loop. There are a lot of people. But yeah, if any of you go to a show and want to just tell us about it, please get a hold of me at Game Changer Week, and we'll get you taken care of the best that we can. We only have so many video screens and so much time. So we are definitely going to
we found out.
Well, look at it this way. If we had someone come on tonight, our 2-hour and 15-minute show may have been 2:45. You know what I mean? So it just depends. But yeah, let's get on here. Let's have some friends. This is GCW Fan Family. Let's do it.
Yes. Definitely. All right. Real fast too, just piggyback off that. We gotta get a little bit better at this. But if anyone so feels like they enjoy our content and want to show us a little bit more support, they can go to the slamchats.com, look up the bodyslam.net, and go ahead and support us over there if you so feel like it. But yeah, last week was fun. We definitely need to do another fan forum. Definitely want to hear some more stories from the people that are at the shows and pick up a little tea of what happens and see how the crowd was actually, not how they didn't come across on TV, but how they really were for there. It would be fun.
I was laughing because I went back and watched last week's episode, and it was funny how we were all doing our thing, and then Brett comes in and you can see everybody get kind of serious. Everybody got kind of serious. I'm trying to corral the cats and hold it all together. And that's why I went off camera and grabbed my laptop. I'm like, that's it. If Brett's here, he's going to get John questions. And that's why I was like, okay, let's do this one. Yeah, we'll be getting him back again. And he already said that he does want to be further involved in all of this. It's a matter of just time being. So we're in a perfect spot. We're doing our thing with GCW. We're getting wonderful support from GCW and from the performers. So thank you so much for that. Tons of listeners. Thank you so much to every single person. We love you. We know we're not special. We are amateurs, but we're professional fans. And we try to do everything we can to just provide content, because when we started, there wasn't any. So love you guys very, very much. And yeah, I think that's it. Anything else you can think of?
No, yeah. Thank you everyone again for last week's fun time that was in the chat and hanging out. If you were on the stream, being able to chat and with Brett and stuff, that was awesome. And yeah, thank you again, everyone coming out again tonight, hanging out with us in the chat, setting us straight on our false narratives that we are saying.
Thank you.
Yes, keep us on our toes. Always correct us, and we will always be wrong. I will always be wrong, at least. But no,
I'm always wrong.
I love learning though. Like I love being wrong because then I learn something new, and boom, it goes. And yeah, I did learn some new stuff tonight, which was cool.
This creates community. You know, somebody's like, no, man, that's what's going on. I love that. The alternative is we say a bunch of shit that's wrong, and a bunch of fans are out there going, oh God, that's so cringy. I can't believe he said that. So, yep, that's what's up right there, Reed. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you do.
Yeah, thank you, Reed. Thank you, DJ Luda. Great one. Everyone that was in the chat tonight, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. And yeah, Russell Dads. I missed this last one. What did it say? You guys are awesome. I love coming here talk wrestling. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. And we, as you know, we do talk majority GCW, but we sometimes talk about other promotions too and get going. I could have went on freaking a whole thing on what's it called? Since I just finished it as well this weekend. Forbidden Door. That was a crazy good show.
We have time if you want to, and if you don't, it's okay.
No, I don't. No, it was good. It's good. I know a lot of it was different. A lot of good. That Swerve versus Ospreay was something I knew would be good, but wow, not that good. And yeah, it was fun wrestling weekend. Seeing all these companies work together. Seeing all these companies work together for AEW. Then you see like GCW. You get all these other companies, TNA, New Japan, CMML, like Triple A. You got all these people coming to us, and they want to do their action here with us. So it's cool that we're kind of doing a Forbidden Door, seems like every weekend. So that's just one thing I kind of felt like during this weekend was, even though GCW might not have the platform that AEW has, they are literally opening up Forbidden Doors every week and doing cool shit like AEW is. So wrestling's been awesome right now. It's in a good place.
Okay, I'll just say it right now. I wonder if over in Japan there was a large meeting and they said, you know what, we need to get more exposure. We need to get off this island, and we need to get into the American market. market much deeper. And I wonder that's maybe because, you know, everything in Japan used to be strictly to Japan. You were not seeing many Japanese wrestlers come over to America whatsoever. Also, Vince wasn't always really high on Japanese workers.
Oh.
That was his thing.
See, we forgot. I don't even know if you saw it because I just saw it today because I turned off my notifications all weekend and I just finished the shows. And I just turned it back on. That GCW got the Creed brothers for Bloodsport. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Like, wow. Yeah. That is insane.
Let's see. You said the yen's very
people,
so it's funny. There's actually two people said
with that.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny if you go over there and you watch any because sometimes I'll watch Japanese videos. I like to see them go to like I know this is stupid. Cat cafes. I like to see them go to sushi places. I like to see them go to places where like they grill Wagyu beef and stuff like that. And when they put down the prices for basic foods over there, it's way cheaper than our food over here. Like they go into 7-Eleven, it's like a cookie costs $5. It's like $2.15. I'm like, come on. I got fat rage over cookies.
You see, look, we just learned why a lot of the Japanese wrestlers are coming out here right now because the yen's low. That's something I never would have known of. And
no, not
we always learn.
But yeah, I feel like the way Japanese wrestling was treated was very sacred for the longest of times. And then I think the internet really opened it up. We were getting small leaks from VHS. Then we got larger leaks from DVDs. Then here came the internet and things primarily opened up a hell of a lot more. So I think it was only a matter of time because Japan just can't keep to itself for too long, or it can be left out of the market. And then it's only marketing to itself and a small group of fans on the American side. So as soon as they can get here and do their thing, the better for Japanese wrestling as a whole. But we in America here, we are the main market. And so, yeah, come on over and make your money and may the best person make the job happen. What do we got here? I remember listening to a DP episode a long time ago, and I know Noah was trying to figure out how to break into the American market. Now that's an interesting one. Isn't that where Noah was where Dante and Ninja, correct?
Yep.
I don't see why not. I don't see why GCW. Well, again, Brett made it very prominent that Japanese business in the wrestling scene is very hard over there. And it's not easy to break into different things in different areas. But by all means, if they could put on a Noah show, I mean, that would be beautiful.
I mean, you got to think even out there, they're now putting like those 3 or 4 promotions together into one big one. Like they're even consolidating instead of breaking out and getting new, like they're consolidating too. So, but it is cool to see these other wrestlers and other companies even out there wrestle places that they a couple of years ago you wouldn't have even thought about doing it, and now it's right here almost every weekend. So it is cool.
Oh, all righty.
All right.
Okay, I think we got it out of our system for this week.
Yes, we have done it. And I got the video ready this time instead of just running out of here. So I'm going to play that video on the outro here when we get out of here.
Sweet.
What was that one? What was the last one?
This one had just said Noah was working with AJ Styles as a math.
Yeah. That's good.
So you also remember getting visas in America for a lot of talent at once. And it's not easy right now. I've also heard too. I heard there's a backup for the last couple months. That's going to come into play for sure. But it's obviously affected our Extreme title and our UV title. So as soon as all that gets cleared up, which it looks like it has, looking forward to seeing all that wonderful talent come back across the ocean and dazzle us again with their own flavor of wrestling.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's send them out of here into 4th of July weekend.
Don't be safe. I'm blowing a bunch of shit up in my backyard. So everybody be safe out there with fireworks.
I'm going to chill and stay away from the fireworks. I think, I don't know.
You get bored, you can swing by. We set off car alarms in this neighborhood.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not a big fireworks person.
It's my inner redneck. I blow shit up, bro.
Gotta get out of your system.
That's right.
All right. Thank you again, everybody, stopping in. And we will have a busy episode next weekend. So thank you all again. And here we go. All right.
Long. That was pretty good. Live.
Oh,
that was fucked up. Gee.
Oh, yeah. We got to get it right on my 100th episode. I forgot. This is my 100th episode. We got to get it right here.
Oh, hey. By the way,
I just thought about that. So I was like, wait, I wanted to get this one right today.
Okay. So I'm not going to lie. Brant actually started a couple episodes and then we found each other and started. So this is Brant's 100th episode. Congratulations. We love you so much. You started with absolutely nothing and you knew nothing and, went through it with a lot of hard work and had to work gear up. Then you had to deal with my dumbass. So, I mean, it's all worked out really well. You've taken my crazy properly. You've gotten your form of crazy properly, and we're lucky and mixed. So
yes.
Congratulations. Another 100 hopefully coming your way. You're fantastic, dude.
Thank you. Yours is coming up here, what, in 6 more episodes or 7?
4 or 5.
4.
I
said, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm still hanging in there so far. I'm losing hair in the process though, but that's another story.
No, we got to put up next week of before and after day 1 and now.
Oh my god, dude, I've legit lost hair just from stress alone. So anyway, yes, thank you, DJ Luda.
Thank you, DJ. Yes, thank you, everyone. All right, long live. We got
this. No, let's do it right. Ready?
Okay.
Long live fucker. GCW. See you guys.